Right, we're on. Whenever you're ready, Gareth. Welcome to the Bad Dice Podcast with your hosts, Ben Curry, who's just out to crush Hobby with the new film, Mark Wildman,
Hello.
and Gareth Diggs.
Lavender pillow mist. It is absolutely heavenly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Bad Dice Podcast. We are coming to you live.
Hi Gareth, how are you?
Hi, Mark, Wicker, and Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. We're coming
He's all
live.
shy, that's rare.
We're coming live today from sunny Derby, and we are here with episode 97 of the Bad Dice Podcast, and it's a very special one. Why is it a special one, Mark?
Because we're streaming live.
No, because it's the Masters.
Oh, I don't
Draw.
care.
Yes, you do
this
care
is
about
this is more
it.
important. We're live.
It's me who wanted to do a live episode. Why
So,
are you excited?
we're live for the first time this year.
Live
Of course.
for the first time.
And for the first time in a year, the last live show was actually the Masters Draw
It was.
last year. Where
It is
Gareth,
our official year, isn't it?
yeah, Gareth had so much fun. And it is your official year, a year of doing the Bad Dice Podcast. So how does it feel to be one?
What a year it's been. What a year
One,
of
one of
revelations.
one of who, Ben?
What?
One of who?
One. Just 1 year old.
One of
oh
one of
my God, look.
one of
Look at
us?
Gareth, he's so disappointed with you. So, what's on today's show then, guys?
We are going to be reading an extract from The Hobbit today. We're also going to be having a fantastic little game of this. I forgot what these things are called, but this is where we're going to be getting the live Query Corner questions from.
So, for those watching live, Gareth has been squirreling away stuff that he's found in the bedroom, not told me what it's for, and has been waiting to pull it all out. So, if you are watching live on the Bad Dice site, you can go over to the YouTube channel and you can take part in the chat. You just post on the comments section, and we'll be able to catch up with your comments during the show.
You can also tweet us. I've got my phone on still, so you can tweet us nice things as well. Comments, questions. There will be a section at the end for Gareth's Query Corner live on air.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a Snake Eyes special where you'll be able to send Gareth your questions live and catch him off guard with no prior notice.
Or us off
Can't-
guard, more
not
like
me.
it.
I don't answer them.
Because that's so different from usual, isn't it, Mark?
There's no editing that goes on in that section whatsoever, is there, Ben?
No, definitely not.
No.
Okay, so we do have an episode sponsor for this live show, the first one of 2013. Oh, Happy New Year, by the way, I suppose you should
Happy
say,
New
shouldn't
Year,
we?
Ben.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And that's the Northwest Warriors, Ian Loxham, who is La Dancing Queen on Twitter. And he said, the Northwest Warriors proudly present our biannual Warhammer Fantasy and 40k tournament, a gathering of might 10. 10 already, Jesus.
Is that 10 years, or do they do 2 a year?
2 years.
I think they started out with 1 a year, now they're doing 2, and they've been doing 2 for quite some time, so they've been going at least 5-6 years. Held on the 2nd and 3rd of March at the Stockport Gaming Centre, and it's a 1,500 point, 6-game, 0-comp tournament, so it's out the book Warhammer, which Mark loves so much.
At last.
£35 entry fee, which gets you 6 games, both lunches, a gathering of Mike Dice, a pizza fest, a pub quiz, and
What's a pizza fest?
they have pizza in for the evening dinner.
Oh,
And,
that's like a buffet. You'll get your money's worth there, wouldn't you? You'll get 35 quid worth of pizza.
All the usual fun and games you can expect from the Gathering of Might tournament. So you can head over to agom.co.uk or follow Wargore on Twitter. And if you want to find out more information about this, go over to baddice.co.uk/97, where you'll find all the details in the show notes.
When was it again? What was the dates?
It's the 2nd and 3rd of March over at your favourite gaming centre, Stockport.
Darren's Marauders Gaming Centre. Indeed. Oh, it sounds like a good event. Maybe we shall attend?
No.
No? Okay, we won't be attending.
No, we're going elsewhere, aren't we, Ben?
Oh, we're going to the Throne of Skulls, aren't we?
No, Merseyside Meltdown.
Merseyside Meltdown. Is that the
Throne
same
of-
weekend?
Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately.
Oh.
Never mind.
It's already sold out, though, so get yourself a ticket over to Gathering of Might.
Yar.
Right, so onto the show, and we're going to start with a bit of a fortnight, which was actually 3 weeks in fantasy, and a recap over what we've
Feels
been
ages
doing.
since we've last done the podcast.
Yeah,
isn't
what
it?
we've been doing over Christmas.
We've had Christmas.
Yeah, we've had Christmas. We've had New Year, so
And Christmas and
plenty
presents.
of hobbies and stuff
So what,
like that
what,
going
what
on.
hobby toys did you get, Ben?
I actually did get some Christmas presents which was hobby related from her.
One of us.
Shut up, not one of us. I got a Screaming Banshee in a little Games Workshop plastic kit, didn't I?
You did indeed.
Was it a fail? Was it a fine cast?
No, it's just one of the plastic kits.
It's
Plastic,
just one of the
awesome
plastic
plastic
kits.
kits.
But
yeah.
it's an awesome plastic kit, and it's actually my very first own model in a complete package. I've had a model given to me before, and
You
I've
got
had
this off Mark, did you say?
for Christmas. Yeah, and it was a Screaming Banshee. I don't know quite how many of them I want in my army. I think I want about 3. But is that too many, do you think?
That's spot on, I think. Perfect.
So I need 2 more, please.
No.
Thank you. I also got, and I suppose this is in homage to Fat Craig, hashtag Fat Craig, and to Gay Jack Spedding, Magic the Gathering cards, my own starter set.
Ooh.
And I also got some macaroons. Oh, and a big mixer to make lots of cakes with as well. So I got an awesome lot of Christmas stuff. What did you get?
My room got tidied up.
Yeah. But
And a new shelving
it's more
unit.
than that, yeah. Go
Just
on,
a little
explain.
bit.
Explain.
Well, I don't know if other people's like hobby dens. I mean, I don't know if we get people to send in pictures of their hobby den because I can imagine there's ones like Ben's, which we're sitting in at the moment, which is really
got a
neat
sex
and
swing up there
tidy.
in the corner.
Yeah, but it's really neat and tidy. The book's all in a nice order. There's pictures up on the walls, but I can imagine there are some hobby rooms which are like mine, which are a disgusting den of pus and sweat and
Puss and sweat.
and shit and no, not that bad, but it was pretty graphic, I think. And literally, my hobby stuff was on the floor everywhere. It wasn't really in shelves. It was a complete mess. Wasn't tidy. I went to work one day, came back, and it was totally tidied with a new shelving unit, all neatened up, and it was awesome.
There was pictures on the wall. There was new blinds. It had been hoovered. It had been washed. In fact, it was disgusting. There was some kind of what's the amoeba? Is what I'm thinking. You had like an amoeba spawn.
I grew life in my room.
Things growing in the bedroom. It's bad.
So so that was a nice prize. Really, really good. Got a few other bits and bobs, but
Yeah, just bits and bobs.
Bits and
bobs. What about you, Ben? What did you get?
So, only thing gaming related I got was one of these bad boys, which it's the White Dwarf subscription model, which is the White Dwarf with the film camera and microphone and all that jazz.
Oh, I saw this in the shop.
I got that off Ben Johnson, so
awesome.
thanks to him for
Who? Ben who?
he went far to get that, didn't he?
yeah. Rolled out of work, went into store, bought it with me for Christmas. So I got that.
Did you kiss?
No.
Oh.
Other gaming related, not much really. Gaming related. I got the Hobbit book, I suppose, is gaming related, which is weird because I'm sure I've had a copy of that in the past, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So Kel bought me a new one.
You see, I always think that if you don't know what to get a person, see what they've already got on the shelf, chuck it out, and then rebuy them it because they'll go, "Oh, I thought I had that." Then
Oh,
they
I
can't
thought I
find
lost
it.
that.
I like it. It's a good idea. That's boys, do that for your girls. Girls, they're not gonna have girlfriends, are they?
No.
Do that for someone next year.
Yeah, it definitely a cheap trick, that one, I think.
Absolutely.
Something you'd pull.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna stuff a rosy in my face.
Oh, nice. Straight down the microphone. So, what have you guys been up to, Gareth, over Christmas? Or Mark?
Stuffing my face full of chocolate.
Shall I start this
Have you
week?
played much Warhammer?
Yes.
Oh, my God. You've been to a tournament, haven't you?
Yes. We went to a tournament, went to Warhammer World, played 2 games of Warhammer on, I think, on the Friday. Then on the Saturday, we went to the End of Times 16-point Warhammer tournament in Milton Keynes.
16 points.
Is it what I said? 1600. And then on the day after that, I played a game against Andy Barnes, Sheffield Slaughter Comp. So we had I had a bit of a 3 days of intense Warhammer. I think in 3 days I had 4, 5, 6, 7 games in 3 days. Nice. Hardcore. Yeah.
I didn't play any Warhammer over the break. I was away for a week at Christmas. Went to the
Cabin in the woods.
Yeah, Sherwood Cabins over at Sherwood Park. Well, not Sherwood.
Is
Park,
that near
Sherwood
Ollerton?
Forest, near the Sherwood Visitor Centre.
Is that right near the dogging site?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went over there for a week. That was really nice, just to sort of off the grid. I had sporadic internet access, but no phone signal or nothing. So it's quite nice to turn off.
And apparently your other half said you were on your period during that time.
Yeah. So
Are you in a mard?
you know, where those mornings when you just wake up and you don't want to speak to anyone. And
No.
I
Yes.
got
Because I'm not a woman.
I got 1,000 questions within the first 5 minutes, and then I got shouted at for not answering 1,000 questions. So when I goes, I'm going back to bed, and went off back to bed,
That's you.
apparently I was on my period. And that was the theme for the rest of the week. No, Ben, you can't get in the hot tub. You're on your period.
To be honest, I wouldn't want to get in a period with you. In a hot tub with you. I'd imagine you'd be all farty.
The hot tub was amazing. I want one for home. I really do.
You can get them for like about $8,000. They're not that expensive.
Christmas morning, 2 bottles of champagne in the hot tub before 11 o'clock. Beautiful.
Nice.
So that was
Did you
the
get
theme.
a little bit merry?
That was the theme for the whole week. Yeah, a lot of drinking. Drank a lot of wine. I think we took I think it was 8 bottles of red, 4 or 5 whites, half a dozen bottles of champagne, and it all went in 4 days.
How many you went?
5, and there was a 6th one that turned up for the final night. So it was good.
A 6th one? Was it a bit like Chitty Keys in a Bowl thing?
It was the lesbian Batman.
We've met her, haven't we? That lesbian.
Lesbian
We've met a
Batman.
lesbian.
Dave sat here all quiet, and his head just went up at the talk of lesbians. So, so for those watching the live stream, I'm looking at Mark and Gareth while I'm chatting to him. They're on camera, and you can't see me. And in front of me, I've got my workstation with the iPad open, the laptop with YouTube on, and then all the show notes on the other screen. And I glanced over just as them two are pulling stupid faces at each other on the YouTube, and totally lost track of what I was planning on saying, laughing at Mark's face, which was 30 seconds behind. So,
are we going to talk about the tournament we went to?
Yeah, let's get into that, because I'm quite interested to hear about this.
It was awesome.
I'm hearing rumours of Mark's downfall and Gareth on the up and up.
Oh, yeah.
Damn
I
you.
forgot about that, actually.
Stupid tournament pack.
I actually wasn't 100% keen on going, not because I didn't like the people there, but we came from Northamptonshire, which is very close to Milton Keynes, where this event was, Stony Stratford. Face rape.
You just touched my
Sorry.
face.
Yeah, we're very close from it, but I'd arranged to see a few of my clients, make of that what you will, the day after Boxing Day. And this was 2 days after Boxing Day. So we were down at home for the Christmas period, saw the family, had lots of food, went back home to see my 2 clients, and just potted about home for 1 day.
And played 2 games of Warhammer.
I didn't, did I?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You went up to meet people in Warhammer World. But I didn't go, because I didn't get there in time. I was shopping for
You were
this.
Mincing around.
Look at this lovely new top for our viewers that can see.
Grandad.
Hands out of your face, Mark. Dear, oh dear, it's like his mother. Then we came all the way back down again, and a little bit further, just to play the event. And I thought, I don't know if I really, really want to do that. But I'm so glad I did, because it was an awesome tournament.
At the end of your first game, your eyes were like lit up. You were like a little kid in a candy store. I thought, oh, he's happy, good. He's glad he came.
Well, there was free biscuits and donuts, so that's a bonus. It was 1,600 points, as Mark said. It was only £5, and it was meant to be a fun event. It was meant to be a bit of a laugh. Now, typical me has never picked up a comp pack in my time. What are you doing?
Nothing.
All I can see is just like silliness here. Less silliness when I'm talking.
This is a serious Warhammer podcast.
Yes.
So, look behind the curtain secret into the life and times of Bad Dice. In the run-up to the show, we had to tell Gareth not to be too excitable, because last year he turned into a monster on the camera. And this year he's very well behaved, he's gelled his hair, he's got his nice Christmas jumper on.
I gelled his
And
hair.
Mark is just being... I don't know what's got into him tonight. He's had half a bottle of cider, that's what it is. Sorry, Gareth. Carry on.
Yes. It was a silly comp, and it was meant to be a silly comp as well, and there was lots of bizarre scenarios, like you have to roll a dice at the start of every player's turn, and something...
Mad could happen.
Yeah, like there would be an explosion, and half your stuff has to take a leadership... All of your stuff, has to take a leadership test. If it fails, it has to run back. And this could work in your favour, it might not work in your favour, but there was 38 players, and at the end of the day, I came 11th, I think, and Mark came 18th.
18th, yes.
I beat Mark.
There was just one game where you rolled a dice at every turn, and if you rolled a 1, every single model either side had to take a panic check. They couldn't use their general's leadership or their BSB, but both sides had to do it, even if you're demons or undead and immune psychology. And I played it, and I had my 2 units and 9 gutter runners, and my doom wheel run off the board like turn 1. I was like, oh, that's
Awesome.
great. And the guy I was playing against was asking me questions, like I can't remember his name. He was like going, so what does Skaven do? What does the Doom Rocket do? What does the A-Bomb do?
What is Warhammer?
I was like, oh my god, he doesn't know anything. I'm going to smash him. And literally everything just ran away. And I was like, It was an awesome game though, because my luck was just so horrendously atrocious. Everything just ran away and died.
You're a sad panda.
Gareth had the same. Gareth played Greg Dan, didn't he? And all of his demons ran off the board.
Absolutely. Let me just
Let's just
run
rewind a
through-
bit there. Why did demons run off the board?
Let-
Well,
let-
you weren't listening. You were faffing around with the camera.
but
Let me just tell you that Marcus Lake got a draw with him. Really, really fun game. I thought he was going to smash me because usually he's stoned and he can just, smash people straight off the board. But actually, he wasn't stoned, and we got quite a good draw. And the scenario didn't really affect us. I then played Ed Morris, and he had like billions of chariots, and I thought, oh god, this isn't going to work. And the scenario was like this vortex thing, and you had to roll for it, loads of dice and directional thing, and it went around the board. That actually didn't affect us, but I ended up beating Ed by just doing some stuff that I didn't really know that was going to work. Like in a challenge, I went, if I don't accept the challenge for that character goes to the back, doesn't it? And I saved that character. And he didn't want me to do that, and I ended up doing that twice. But it saved that character and it saved that unit. So, ha ha ha, in your face, Ed. Then I played Greg down after lunch, and this was the scenario Mark was talking about. By the start of turn 2, before I'd rolled any dice for my turn 2, he had no units on the board apart from one. One unit left on the board, and so I decided to plough everything into that unit. And it really worked in my favour.
It was just to reiterate.
It was
'cause
magic.
We're going back to Ben's comment that he didn't hear me before. The idea was chaos was sort of like in ascendance, and at the beginning of every turn you had to roll a dice and had to have that effect to each your army. So like if you rolled like a 6. Everything was stupid, even if you were immune to stupidity, you're already stupid. And things like, if you rolled like a 4, Core Knight was in abundance and everyone gained Frenzy. If you rolled a 1, however, every unit / model in the whole arm, in each side, had to roll a panic checks on their basic leadership unmodified. Even if you're immune to psychology, because chaos was whoo, like that. And so when you play Greg Dan, he's like, I think it was his bloodletters ran off the board because they're obviously only leadership 7, which is quite funny. But
I basically rolled a 1 twice. My start of my first turn, start of my second turn, and I generally passed 3/4 of all of my leadership.
it sounds really, really mad, but because both of you are taking it, it just evens itself out. It's quite funny.
Well, it didn't really even it out.
Oh, actually,
I
I
smashed him.
want to say a special mention to Annie, who brought her undead army, who had to panic her army off the board. Turn 1 with her leadership 5 crypt ghouls, crypt horrors.
And she had the only other thing that could lead her army in that same unit as well, didn't she?
So just ran
So
off,
they both
ran off the board and the army crumbled.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And then last game, I played Richard Harris, who I thought had died. That's why I didn't make any more Dumbledore. In
I
the
thought
Harry
he died
Potter
as well,
movies.
I mean-
But he's actually a guy that we played
come back to life?
last time we were there. Lovely, lovely guy, and had a really, really fun game. I didn't actually win this game. Draw and 2 wins. I didn't win this one, but there was a point in the game where my my unit of halberdiers with one of my wizards and BSB and Archlector was in there, and it just failed its leadership check because it's all you couldn't have any modified leadership, so it was basic 1 of 8 for that whole unit.
There was no lord.
No Lord, that's it, that's right. And it failed it with the BSB. And so it was going to run off the board, and that was the thing that was going to lose me the game. And I went, this isn't right. Not me just being bitter. I went, Mark's going to tell me I've done something wrong. And he said, no, you've done this right, you've done this right. And I went, I'm going to have to let it go, but there's something not right here. Finished the game, I'd lost. Went up to Mark, told him what I'd done, and he went, did you not roll the 3 dice and take the highest 2 because of
Lowest
hold
2.
the line? Lowest 2, end the line. And I went, no.
And the look of his face, and he stormed off and went to Richard.
I did, but not in an angry way. I went, damn it. But the thing was, I was playing Empire against his Empire, and he didn't remember to do that either, and it really would have affected
Both as
the
bad
game.
as each other.
Both, but we'll never forget that again, will we, Richard Harris?
No, you
From Harry
won't.
Potter fame, no. But, loved the event, thought it was great, didn't win any awards, never mind. But I beat Mark.
I was following on Twitter, and Mark was saying, maybe this scenario is a little bit harsh when everyone's army's running off the board. But then he was like, yeah, but it's fun, and it's not my army.
And do you know what the fun thing is it was just for a silly event. You couldn't take it seriously.
No.
You could take the bentest army in the world, and I kind of did with my Skaven, and it didn't make any difference whatsoever. You could have taken just a really. I wish I'd have taken something a little bit more daft now, but never mind.
We've had a few tweets in our people's nerd rooms, by the way. So check it if you can
We'll
see
go
them.
through it later
We'll
on.
go through them later on, but it's interesting. Keep sending them in.
Keep
Send
sending them,
your
enjoy the
nerd
show,
room.
and we'll catch up.
Yeah.
So we're going to go. I think that about rounds up Christmas, does it?
Yeah, I
a
think
bit
so.
painting actually, because I know Mark's done a load, and I've done a bit.
Have you, Ben?
I've done a shed ton of orcs.
So tell us about it.
I've done, I think, 4 savage orcs, and that is actually quite a lot for me because I spend a night and a half highlighting them. I bought my Giant's Cave Squig.
You bought a giant cave squig. You
Yeah.
painted 4 savage orcs. You Skaven's finished, is it?
Yeah,
Was that finished by the last one 3 weeks ago?
2.5 weeks.
Nice.
Ben's made some horses. Look.
I've been painting bull centaurs. Oh, it's still in front of the camera. No focus on it. I've been painting bull centaurs. Not really got much done on them, but they're getting there.
They got willies.
No, they've not got willies.
But they've got little.
They've got a little bit of fur underneath.
little bit of fur.
I'd
I
green stuff
kind of
as well.
wanted to get them finished, but I've just, Christmas holiday. I've not really wanted to do much except drink wine and lie on the sofa.
Can I say I think that needs another colour,
Which one?
just generally
Lighter on the whole model.
a different colour.
There's gonna
It's
be a-
all
there's gonna
browns,
be a-
greys,
yeah.
and metals.
There's going to be a red on it. There's going to be a bright red, which I'm not sure where. Possibly the chainmail on the front of the model.
I like your metal.
Certainly, thanks, Gareth. I'm pleased with the metal. Yeah, certainly on the design on the shield's going to have an accent colour, and also the axe is going to be edge highlighted with an accent colour, turquoise, I think. So yeah, I'm
Good
pleased with how they're
choice.
turning out so far.
Have you seen the white edges on my?
I don't like the white on the black on them.
Do you know?
The reason being is because the white edge on the black makes it look too much like the beard and the silver armour. It doesn't stand out enough from it, whereas a coloured edge on the black just gives it something a bit different. I've done the same on the Infernal Garden. It looks quite nice. I'm happy with it.
What annoys me on these ugly models is they've got like awesome six-packy bodies, and they're ugly.
Ugly men with
Nice.
this
awesome
one's
bodies.
got fucking 2 8-packs.
What did you just say?
Oh,
No.
sworn once
No
now.
language.
Downhill from here.
I apologise if anybody writes into Ofcom.
I apologise.
So yeah, that's all I've been doing. I've done a bit on the what's it, Magnum Cannon. That's the one, isn't it? The one that shoots
Magma.
flame templates. I've done the crew on that, got it finished, and yeah, that's about it. Just a bit more than I've done in the last 6 months, but it's still not all that much.
All that jazz.
So, okay, I think we'll go for a break, and then we'll come back and we'll do the draw, which is what everyone's been waiting for, I think.
We'll do it very slowly. Can we do Raph last? Because I know he's crying and he's.
Show us the tub, Gareth, before we go for the break for those watching.
We have a very special tub this year.
And we've got a dog bowl.
It's
with-
the dog bowl.
with the tickets in.
And look, they're all in here, look.
Oh, for goodness sake. I've just had an email from a tournament organiser saying that I've submitted an illegal list. What's that all about?
Well, didn't you get Mark to send it in for you?
No, I sent it in by email. Look, have a look.
Oh, okay. I can see what the problem is. You've got the points values wrong, the formatting's all off, and it's pretty hard to see what's going on with it all.
Ah, that Wildman. Well, what can I do to improve, Ben?
Well, didn't you use Quartermaster?
Quartermaster? What's that?
Quartermaster, put simply, is the best app out there for Warhammer players. It's available on the iPhone or the iPad and lets you write lists for all your favourite armies. Save them for later or share them with other Quartermaster users. You can send them as email or post to forums and even print directly from the app.
Wow, that's amazing. Never again will my points values be wrong. Never again will I be sending it in the wrong format. Quartermaster, how amazing.
You can download Quartermaster from the Apple App Store and you can get more information from quartermasterapp.com.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we are back and we're going to go straight into the live draw. Gareth's got his lovely little dog bowl full of bits of paper with all the army lists in. You should be able to see it on the camera.
Out of it, you can't touch.
So the way we're going to do things is Gareth's going to pick a name out of the bowl. I'm going to have a quick rundown, FA Cup style of, a bit of info about that player, how good they've been this year. And then we're going to talk about the lists. Mark should have the list in front of him.
indeed.
And so off
That's
we go.
not very good and professional, is it, Mark? To be yawning your way through
Mark
this.
is so excited to be on this podcast. He is really, really excited.
Yes,
you can just
I
tell.
am.
Absolutely. Before we begin, I just want to say hello to our foreign visitors. We've got people listening in Australia, Canada,
Hi.
America at the moment.
Yeah, Dale from Canada. He's coming over to Adepticon. We're going to meet up with him when we're out there.
Awesome. Hello, mate.
He's been listening on his lunch break in Canada, which is
Yay.
quite cool. I think someone says they're up at 5 a.m. wherever they are. They must be Australia then, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
No,
True.
it's night in Australia, I think. I was talking to Nick
It
LeBron.
can't be night.
They're in the future,
It's in the
like
future.
about half a day.
Okay.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
early morning in Australia, getting up to watch us. Australia or New Zealand, maybe that might have been. I'm sure I'll get
Something like
told on the chat room. So yeah, we've got people from the UK, Canada, America, New Zealand, and Australia. So it's all good.
We're a global sensation, Benjamin.
If you're listening to this on the post-recorded episode as the normal podcast goes out, we're going to occasionally, I think, in the future, do this to YouTube now and again. I don't know how often, and I might be doing some dailies to YouTube as well. Also, if you've missed the daily over the last couple of weeks, it's going to be starting up again on Monday. This is released. This is Thursday the 3rd, and it's going to be out on the episodes on the 5th. And
But
the
you feel you've had your life back, don't you?
Daily Show, the Daily Show will be starting again on the 7th, and I've missed doing it. I have, but I am also determined to get in a better routine with, recording 5 shows in one evening instead of spreading them out over the week. But we'll cross that bridge next week when we're back on the Daily Show.
You also mentioned a very, very important date, being the 5th of January. Something else that's happening on the 5th of January, Ben?
Oh, yeah, Ben.
Something that could be
Some
good
kind
for
of
us
award
in a certain Vegas place.
ceremony.
On Monday the 7th
Oh,
of
is it
Jan.
not the 5th?
Monday the
Oh.
7th.
Testing.
Yeah,
We were testing.
so the 5th of Jan is the New Media Expo in Vegas, and we've been nominated for a podcast award, and the award ceremony is on the Monday night. I think it's at 6 p.m. EST, or Vegas time, whatever that is.
E.T. time.
Yeah, and so it's going to be early hours of the morning in the UK. They are live streaming it. I'll stick some links up on Twitter for those that want to see that. I'll be up late watching it. I think it starts at around midnight UK time. But I'll definitely be watching that. Hopefully we might win an award, or even just get a mention, which would be nice.
I hope we win an award because I'll bitch slap some American. If
Are you
it's
gonna record it? Can you
It
record
will be recorded and put for you to download later, I think. Not certain on that, I think. So, okay, that's enough waffle, I think. And,
No.
someone's saying we've got to shout out to Sweden, Wales, Poland, Scotland, Belgium. Wow, people from all over Europe and all over
Goodness
the
me,
world.
in countries that aren't even
Is
countries.
Aberdeen foreign?
Yes.
Africa? No, I think he's lying about that. It's
Someone's
7
in
a.m.
Africa.
in
Yeah,
Australia.
it's Cy
so
Harris's.
it's all good. So sorry if we've missed you on the shout outs there, but yeah, it's looking good, looking like lots of listeners. So thanks for tuning in. And the main
Tweet us and mention on this chat log thing because
Yeah.
we do want to know your thoughts and feelings and observations about when Mark picks his nose and stuff like that.
has his hands over his mouth while he's speaking to the mic.
Yeah.
Also, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe so you can catch up with us whenever we put an episode out. You'll find it dead easy in the future then. Okay, the reason you've all tuned in and the thing we've all been waiting for, we're going to get into the Masters live draw.
Dun,
So,
dun, dun,
Gareth's
dun.
going to start us off and he's going to pick the first name out of the dog bowl.
Absolutely. Good luck. I don't know why I'm saying that. That's what they do in the
It's not
lottery show,
National
isn't
Lottery,
it?
is
Yeah.
it?
Let's hope your balls are drawn. Or something like that.
May
Okay.
the odds be forever in your favour.
That didn't even come into my head.
You're not a lover of that show.
I am a lover of that show. Right, this is the first one out of my dog bowl of shame, and it is dun 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 dun. Will Goodwin Demons. Boris Johnson to the people who know him on his little bike.
Good old Boris Johnson.
Yes.
So, Will Goodwin finished 19th, I think it was, in the rankings this year. 20th in the rankings this year. So, he's had a couple of pass downs. His points came from the Sheffield Slaughter, the Portsmouth Pillage, the Midlands Open, and Winter Incursion. I do believe they've all been with Empire this year. He played Empire at the ETC, where he picked up a bronze medal with the England team. And he's changed things up slightly and gone with the Demons. Gone with the
Fail.
Demons for the Masters. So, Mark, give us a rundown of Will's list.
Will is running a Herald of Corn, who is his general, who wears the Armour of Corn. He has another Herald of Corn with the Armour of Corn. He has a level 2 Zinch with Master of Sorcery and Spellbreaker, level 2 Shadow. He has 1 Herald of Slaanesh, 2 units of 30 Bloodletters with full command, no magic banner, 26 Demonettes, Musician Standard, Siren Standard, 15 Pink Horrors, Musician Standard, 6 Furies, 3 Screamers, 2 Champion Blood Crushers, and 1 single Fiend.
So what are your thoughts on the list? Well, before you get into that, me and Gareth have sat and watched you for the last 30 minutes, look through all the lists, and say what, Gareth?
Oh, this list is amazing! Oh, it's amazing! It's amazing!
Every list according to Mark is amazing.
Yeah,
Apart from one.
compared to mine and Johnson's, there is. This is. I think this is probably more of the mainstream, like sort of list you see. The 2 units of Khorne Heralds, Khorne Bloodletter blocks.
What do you mean by its mainstream?
Well, like the normal sort of.
This is a standard net list demons tweaked to fit the comp, rather than a list written to score highly in a Swedish comp system.
Okay.
You know, the Heralds of Khorne, they're pretty solid in the Bloodletter blocks. You know, it's a tried and tested list. 2 Bloodletters, big demonettes with shadow magic in there as well. So he's got the Mind Razor. He gets all the spells, so you know he's definitely going to be getting the Mind Razor in there.
So he scored an 8.3, which is quite low, yeah?
Quite on the low end, yeah. Now, if people want to check these lists out as we're talking about them, you can go over to baddice.co.uk, and it's on the first page of the website. You should be able to see a link to the lists. If you're viewing this as we're recording live, then they are unedited. They've just been thrown up there. I need to format them later this week and get them all in a nice PDF, which we passed out. But yeah, you can check them out as we're talking about them live. And if you listen to this after the fact, you should be able to get the finished product by the time it comes out. So, first round opponent for Will.
Absolutely.
Now, 2 years ago, this was me. I was drawn out.
Did
and
I draw you out against Will?
We did it on
Is it going to be you this year, Ben?
We did it on the day at Maelstrom at the whatever they're called now, Mornsfeld Gaming Centre, on the day at the tournament, and Will cheered when his name came out against me because he wanted to play me in the Watchtower and not on an open battlefield with my 100 repeated crossbow shots.
Who won then?
Will got the building, which is what he was after. So his first round opponent will be...
Willie will play... Dun, 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 dun. Wrath with Lizard Men. You see, I didn't know his surname, so I've just put Wrath.
Raph Harbinson.
So, Raphael Harbinson with Lizard Men. I think it's only his second tournament with the Lizards. I played against him at Winter Incursion. He's just bought the army off a certain John that we all know and some of us love.
We don't
Mention his name.
His points were Polish Sausage, a controversial team event, South Coast GT, the Midlands Open, and Brothers in Arms, a second team event. So Raph is only here because of his friends. He's backing a Lizardman army with 2 slams. Now, in this sort of comp, I thought that was the thing that was tried to be stopped. So tell us all about it, Mark.
He's done well, actually. He has got a journal on Law of Light with focus of mysteries, that no law.
Yep.
Dispel Scroll, another Slan Mage Priest, who is the BSB with the Law of Death, with the Soulstone, which is reroll. He has 1 Scar Veteran with Halberd, Light Armour, Amulet of Itzel, Dragon Helm, and Venom of the Fly Frog. Another Scar Vet with Light Armour, a Shield, a Luckstone, and Moribane. He's got all these little chieftains. A chieftain on a Pterodon with a blowpipe and a charm shield. A chief skink with a blowpipe and the cursed charm of Tipok. Which one's that? Is that the toughness test on your wizard? Or take a wound?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that, I think.
Can I just ask what Focus of Mystery is first, and that shard thing that you just
What we're
talked
looking
about
at,
a minute
sorry.
ago?
The
at the
amulet-
top?
Focus as Mystery gives the Slan know all law, so he knows.
He knows all the laws of light.
So he's like a law master.
Yes, exactly.
I'm checking this now. I'm doubting myself.
No, I think that's right, because Rumination is add a dice.
And what is the Soul of Stone?
The Soul of Stone lets him re-roll miscast results, but it's not just one. It's every time he can re-roll. So it's
Oh
good.
wow! So he never blows his.
No, he can still blow up, but the chance of doing that is relatively low.
Okay, that's cool.
He has another skink chief who has just got a blowpipe. What's quite interesting, all the skink chiefs are worth 0 comp, so he's filling out his points. It's quite a nice
Spending points, spending points on spending list points without scoring comp
Yeah.
points. Quite
Now,
nice.
the problem with that is obviously he's got Skink Chiefs who are pretty crap, but then at the same time, 63-point redirector, they're still going to do the job as a normal unit, so he's quite clever in that sort of sense. He has 24 Skinks with Crocs, 3 Crocs, and then he's got 3 units of 17 Skinks with the Musician. Now I'm assuming it's 17 because of the comp score, I'm not sure. A unit of 15 Skink Skirmishers, 10 Skink Skirmishers, 8 Cold One Knights with a Musician standard with Hunanchi's Blessed Totem. That's
adds D6 to the charge.
So it'll be charging in, and 4 Pterodons in 1 unit.
Now, Ben, it doesn't say on this what his comp score is.
Now, I have the comp scores
Okay.
right in front of me.
So we know that Will got an 8.3 and Rafa's got a...
While you talk about that list some more, I have the comp scores right in front of me.
Excellent. Nice and prepared.
You should get another screen, Ben, just to find it. Normally in the Lizard Man Demon matchup, it's quite usually in the Lizard Man's favour. It'll be quite an interesting matchup, because obviously the Lizard Man list isn't refined like it normally is, so it hasn't got 101 drops, it hasn't got any salamanders to whittle down the big units. Ras Cold One Knights can't really go into the bloodletters until they've been whittled down. But it'll be an interesting matchup.
So the beauty of this match is, what laws are the 2 slams running?
Light and death.
Light and death. So my money would be on Raf in this. Raf's got a comp score of 14, and Will has got a comp score of 8.3. So
he's
Completely opposite ends of the scale.
completely opposite ends. So Raf is starting with a big head start. On top of that, he's got
how many points
magic.
is that? Is that 600 points ahead, isn't he? Yeah.
Raf's got light magic, so he can sit at the back, shoot him from afar with his light magic.
Yeah.
Also, he's got the death magic, so if he does get a chance to snipe a character or 2, it's quite useful as well. The death is also really handy for dealing with the single skirmishy and running around demon units. You know, like the single blood crushers, things like that. So I'd say Raf's got a good advantage in this. However, he has got a real soft list.
Yeah, I mean that's the issue here as well. Is if you've got a 14, you do have a soft list. I mean, Will Goodwin does have 2 units of 3 screamers, which are really good at clearing out the small units. Lots of automatic hits.
Are both of them quite good in combat?
The 2
Close
units of bloodletters are really, really good. It all depends on what charges what when it gets to fighting. If Raf actually wants to engage, because he could just redirect quite a lot. But those Skink Chiefs are quite. I mean, even though they're 63 points, so they're quite expensive as a redirector if he's going to use all of them.
Nah, the dirt cheap as redirectors. You can run them out of unit, march them 12 inches, and move them out.
They've got 12 inches, haven't they? Yeah. I mean, ultimately, there, I think Raf probably doesn't really want to engage very much and pick off what he can.
No, I think the problem he's got is he doesn't have just one combat unit to hold the line. You know, like often you quite often see a single Source Warrior unit just as like a last ditch steadfast sort of block. He doesn't really have this, and the Skinks just the bloodletters go through him far too quickly. Maybe if the weapon skill 10, they might stick around a little longer, but I think with the weapon skill 5 on the bloodletters, it's just not enough. So
and the rerolls, even
yeah.
I think the only downside to the only interesting thing about this matchup is Raf has been to one tournament with Lizard Men, and Will has
not
been playing, and that'll be, if anything, that'll be Will's letdown. It's going
to be an idiot fight.
Will's starting off on an 8 on his comp score, so he's starting right at the bottom. So it's a uphill struggle.
It's a what?
Uphill struggle. Uphill struggle for Will, and he hasn't played with the army. So I think that.
Why would you choose in a Masters competition of the best to choose an army that you're not as familiar with? Surely you should go with an army that you've won the place to be there with.
So the way of thinking of that is, the line of thinking is that you're going all year having played a single style of army, and then at the end of the year, the comp changes your army so much that learning a new army, like you playing a new Empire army, it's just as much work to learn another race, which is more powerful under the comp. So Will's thought that the demon list is so powerful that he can do as well with that, or better with that, than he could by tweaking his Empire army. So
I think that's a big mistake.
I think that's kind of a mistake as well. I think if you look in the past, the guys who have done well at any tournament, look at Ben Johnson, Nick Pym, Jack Armstrong, the guys at the top of the rankings. You know, even down the line, who you've had up there previously. Tom Maudsley was up there. He played Lizard Men a hell of a lot when he was up there. I played Dark Elves when I was at the top a hell of a lot. Martin Cooper, Lizard Men again. He played just religiously just the Lizard Men, and he was up there. So the guys who are always up at the top, the guys who are well practiced with their armies. So in this environment, I think practice makes perfect.
I agree. I think it's a mistake as well. But who shall
I don't know. The only
Should we
thing.
do the next one?
Just the
It's going to
one.
be a very long show, dude.
Sorry, just the one thing we really have actually neglected is the Demonettes there with the Siren Standard, which can really, really knacker up Lizardmen game plans. Can't.
There's not many of them though, and you know it's all right charging a unit that's an inch in front of you. So
Yeah, we'll see.
there's ways to deal with that. But yeah, it's obviously Will's got a harder list, but Raf's got a big advantage. So
Yeah.
it was good to see how that one
Bigger
turns out.
belly.
Okay, so second out of the hat.
Dun, 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 dun. So, the next lucky person out of my bowl is Tom Maudsley.
Good old
playing
Tom Maudsley. See,
Ogres.
I'd kind of really like to see Tom do well at this Masters. I really would. He's took some fun lists this year. He's still playing horrendous ogres all year, but you know, playing the triple Stonehorns after I talked about him on the Bad Dice Daily was quite a lot of fun. And Tom's attitude after he charged his army into my Cold on Night unit at Quarter War was just brilliant. It was like, well, I've charged half my army in one go, and it all died. We may as well just keep charging the rest in. So it was a fun game. So Tom is here on the strength of his finishers at Gathering of Might, Call to War, Summer Incursion, and the Midlands Open. So no team events for Tom. He finished quite well. I think he was top 10.
Fourth, weren't he?
No, it wasn't quite that high. I think he was fifth, so finished quite well this year. Yeah, his list, Ogres.
Right, yes. So he's got a Slaughtermaster, Law of Heavens, Talisman of Preservation, Iron Cursed Icon, and a Warrior Bane. We have got a BSB with a Great Weapon with the Rune Maw, so his unit is good against magic. A Butcher with the Law of Great Maw, level 1, Great Weapon and the Scroll. And another Butcher, Law of Death, level 1 with the Magic Sword. 6 Iron Guts with the Standard of Discipline. 3 Ogres, 10 Noblars with Trappers, 10 Noblars with Trappers. 4 Lead Belchers with the Musician. 2 Mournfang, 1 Gorger, 1 Sabertusk, 1 Stonehorn, and an Iron Blaster.
Stupid names. Has
So-
he got that fag trough thing?
Goldfag Man-Eater.
No, he doesn't. There's some highlights in this list, though. He's got a Heaven's Slaughtermaster. So Tom's comp score is 10.3, so it's quite middle of the road. He's got the ability to run over the board and smash people in with the 2 Mournfang units, and he's got a big, say big, he's got 6 Iron Guts. Once you stick all the characters in there, it just get quite a large unit, 9 models. So he can run over the board with them, fairly impervious to magic, so they should get there.
Impervious?
He's
That's
got
a big word.
He's got the Stonehorn as well, which is quite aggressive. So if he needs to, he can run over. If he has to hang back, he's got, you know, the bit of
heavens,
shooting.
yeah.
He's got the heavens. So it's quite a middle of the road list.
It's
Got
quite
the
flexible as well.
Yeah.
He can run at you, he can sit at you.
So nice list. I like this one.
Yeah, I like his little bit of everything.
Okay, so next up, who we got?
Thomas is going to be playing Al Thompson.
So Al Thompson. I'm
Who's
laughing
also playing ogres.
because Al's playing ogres. Yeah, and Al's been a nightmare. He's not replied to me to tell me if he was actually coming. And then he replied at like last minute, just before the deadline, to say he is, just as I was leaving. So I said, all right, I'll speak to you in a week when I get back off holiday. Then he rang me about half an hour before the deadline to send a list in. He said, it's going to be late. I was like, oh, whatever, you won't get the points. And then he sends a list in and it's illegal. So
Oh dear.
Al has had a bit of a nightmare. So he's had a problem with his list, just a few little issues which will be ironed out, but he'll be getting a points penalty for that, unfortunately.
Just quickly tell us about the penalties that you're doing, because you said you were going to be quite strict with these this time.
Yeah, so this year there's been a few penalties, or not penalties, bonuses that you can earn by sticking to the rules. And one of them is a certain type of list format, which you have to lay your list out in a certain way. You got 2 points for that. It just makes it easier for editing and things like that. Dead easy, not too game breaking. So you say 20 points and someone doesn't earn that, it ruins the tournament. So I just wanted to chuck a couple of points so people can get some points for doing it, but it won't ruin the tournament if they don't get it.
And that, of course, could be the difference if there's a couple of points in it between who's going to win it.
It has been in the past, yeah. You get points for painting, which again are fairly really easy to achieve. There's nothing in there that you shouldn't be getting anyway. There's 10 points for submitting a list on time. And if that list is later found to be illegal and you have to make changes, you lose 5 of them points. So there's a 5-point deduction for an illegal list. So that's what Al's got. There's also one of the things I've thrown in there, which I've seen at some other events, and I don't really see it in the UK a lot. It's mainly the American ones, is a bonus for sending your list in early. Now, in a normal tournament with 100-odd players, I'd probably give this a month. You know, you get 2 points for sending your list in a month before the event.
A month before?
Yeah, I would do. Whereas because it was the Masters, it was like 1 day or 2 days, I think it was. 1 day. Just to give me a bit of extra time to mark them and, get them over to the guys who are marking them, checking the list. Just, 2 points for that extra day. It helped a lot from our end on the paperwork side of things. So yeah, they're the things you could get. Most people got them in by the 30th. Al and Jack Armstrong actually submitted them by the 31st.
Naughty boys.
So everyone got the 10 points for submitting on time. Everyone but Al and Jack got 2 points for submitting before the 30th. Everyone got the points for a legal format. And then there was a few people who we'll talk about as we get to them who got the points penalties for having illegal lists.
And Al's one of them.
Al's one of them. Using the rulebook points for army book, rulebook points for magic items in the rulebook, and not using the army book points for them.
Naughty, Alan.
Well, they shouldn't be wrong in the book, should they?
No, I think Al's used his head and not his eyes.
Al's used his head.
Al's used his head when he's wrote the list and not his eyes.
Oh, right.
So,
okay. Good old Bob Hoskins.
Al's list is quite different to Tom's, isn't it?
Indeed. Tyrant with glittering scales, fencer's blades, and 5-up ward. A BSB with a biting blade, an enchanted shield, iron cursed icon. A level 2 butcher with a scroll. A level 2 butcher with a ruby ring. Hasn't got the laws on there, what he was running. 9 iron guts, full command, +1 leadership banner. 9 balls with musician, additional hand weapon, 2 units of saber tusk, 4 Mornfang with a war banner. 8 lead belchers with the musician, and an iron blaster.
Ooh. Can I ask, is it actually a lookout nobbler?
Yeah.
It's not lookout sir?
No, it's a lookout nobbler.
What does that mean?
It's a nobbler on top of a banner, and basically it gives an ogre a lookout sir if there's only 3 ogres. Because normally you need 5 models to get a lookout sir. The ogres have to buy the option to get
Okay.
that lookout sir.
You learn something every day.
Indeed.
It's a very different list to the one we just heard.
It's similar to what he took to the ETC, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. He obviously had the Slaughtermaster at the ETC, and he's dropped that due to the comp. Al's comp score is, I do have that, it's not been published on the website because I'm waiting for his amendments to see if that changes things. But his illegal list was actually a 9 points, so it's quite a low comp. He doesn't score many, whereas Tom's a 10. So Tom's on, 130 points more going into that game. Only a slight advantage, but it's still an
130?
advantage. Yeah.
What's the comp, the difference in? Oh, are you breaking it
rounded,
down?
yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
gets rounded.
rounding it down to the point value. Okay.
So, I mean, the good thing about Al's list is that Tyrant is pretty tasty. He can, Al's list, the Tyrant can...
Isn't the Tyrant only strength 5, though?
Yeah, but he can go into a unit and just chop away at them, They can't hit him on 6s to hit. Everything in Tom's army is on 6s to hit Al's Tyrant. So he can just go in and beat them up, beat up the other ogres and just hang in there while Al tries to manoeuvre the rest of his units into place. He's got the 4 Mornfangs, he's got the 9 Iron Guts, so his big units are bigger. He's got 2 Saber Tusks. I think Al's got the better list. Tom,
has he got the upper hand because he's got bigger units, or is it going to be down to skill / dice rolls?
Well, Tom's got the magic support, which Al doesn't have, so I think it'll be a close game. I think Al's list is a little harder in that matchup. I think over the course of the tournament, Tom's list will be better.
I think Al also hasn't played for quite a while, so I think Al's going to be a bit rusty.
Okay, fair enough.
A bit rusty boy.
Right, so let's have the next one out of the...
Just before we move on as well, people are obviously tweeting me, and I'm reading the tweets as we're going along here, as you can see on my phone. And Will has commented what we were talking about, his list. He said, in answer to your question, just because he wanted to have some fun and push an army forward and enjoy the weekend with a smiley face. Which is fair enough, because we all said we thought he'd made the wrong decision, but he has done this knowingly for fun, which actually I think is totally the right attitude. So good on you, Will. So the next one, and thank you to the other questions as well. Some of them are Query Corner ones as well, and some of them are people's rooms, which are hilarious. Right, next out the dog bowl of sex is dun 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 Ben Johnson with his Skaven.
Ben Johnson with his Skaven. I'm so disappointed with Ben. I really am. But then Ben is now Mark's hero on the other hand. So let's have a rundown of Ben's placings.
Now,
this was pretty impressive this year from Ben. He was first at the South Coast GT, first at Call to War, third at Summer Incursion, where Tom Maudsley iron blasted him off on table 1 in the last game. And then fourth at the Portsmouth Pillage, where he was all set to smash Nick Pym. Even Nick admitted that. Then Ben triple 60s Screaming Bell and blew it up to let Nick get back to a draw, and he came fourth overall. So Ben's had a really good year, a lot of points, and finished, I think he was second in the rankings by the end of the year, and that's changed over Christmas. Ben's dropped down to third. So what about his list then, Mark?
Interesting.
Was Ben one of the ones that you went, this is amazing?
No, I think somewhat the opposite, I think.
So Ben's gone down the route of he wants to use all his toys, and he's running Throt the Unclean.
What does Trot do?
He lets you take giant...
Sorry, just silly names.
He lets you take giant rats and rat ogres as core, and Ben's paid points for that and paid comp points for that. So rat ogres and giant rats as core.
So he's got a Throt the Unclean. He's got a Warlord who is the general with a fell blade on a bone breaker with a shield.
So I'm going to tell a lie here just to protect Ben's integrity. The bone breaker gives the general a lookout cert in the rat ogre unit. So don't shoot him with your cannons.
Yeah, you do. Still shoot it.
He doesn't get the lookout cert at all.
Oh, so
He's
that
useless.
was actually a lie.
It was a lie.
Oh, right, okay.
He does.
So
he does
not get the lookout
Why
cert
not?
from the rat ogres because he's a monstrous cav and the rat ogres are monstrous infantry. So he's got the plague priest with the plague furnace, 2
Level
big
1.
giant rat units, 2 rat swarms, big rat ogre unit, big plague monk unit.
Your voice has changed, Mark, to very
know.
Derby.
Well, sorry, Mark. Carry on. Finish us
I'll
off.
protect his whatever I you're protecting.
Carry on, Ben. You
Integrity.
finish it off.
9 Sense Bearers and the Hell Pit.
I didn't realise he had sense bearers as well. Amazing.
Oh, he's taken an A-bomb, is he?
So his comp score's coming in at...
13.5.
So it's quite... And I think that might be a little wrong. I think that's 13.2, but it's thereabouts. I'm sure that one needed tweaking.
Top end of the scale, basically.
Yeah, top end of the scale. With an odd list, which I'm sure he'll do well with, because, you know, he knows the Skaven inside out.
And the rules.
No one will have ever played against a list like this, I imagine.
I'm struggling to see having played with a 14 army and taken not a similar list, but you've kind of really just gone left to the field. It's something completely different, and that's what my Tomb King list was before. And I think Ben personally is probably going to get smashed. I don't
know. We'll have to see.
Has he not got into the spirit of the Swedish comp? Do you think he's just gone for dirty filth?
No, there's nothing filthy. I think, having spoken to Johnson, I think he was just because I was saying you got to take a bone breaker because I wrote a list with a bone breaker. I was take a bone breaker. It was like, oh, I haven't done it yet, and so he's done it. So I think out of all the lists, that is probably the funniest list here.
Yeah, I quite like it. I told him to take the bell and the furnace and then just make it fit in the comp, but he didn't want to. He says it was too boring. Okay, so who's Ben going to be playing first round?
Me.
Can I just ask, are the points penalties stacked up?
Okay, no. So people who submitted on time got the 10 points.
Yeah.
If it's illegal and have to resubmit, they just that's the -5 that they lose.
So it's not going to be -7.
No.
Right, okay, because a couple of people have asked me if they stack up as well.
Anyone who's got any questions, all the scores will be published before we go into the event, so they can hang on and they'll see what people are scoring.
No, that's cool. Okay, so Mr. will be playing... Dun, 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 dun. He's paying Mr. Nick Pym after what we've just said with Demons. Rematch!
Nice.
That is the best one, I think.
While I said Ben has had a cracking year, Nick has just, topped him off. Nick scored Tempest, first place, Portsmouth Pillage, second place, Warlords GT, first place, and the Brothers in Arms team event, first place. And a whole slew of other first place this year. Third place at the ETC. Nick's had a cracking year, and he's played Demons all the way through, start to finish, and he's using Demons again at the Masters, isn't he, Mark?
He is indeed. He's going to be running a Herald of Tzeentch on Life, with Noel Law, another Tzeentch Herald with Shadow,
What's a Noel?
a Noel Law.
No all law.
Stop being pedantic.
I didn't hear what you said.
He's running the Blue Scribes, special character Filth. 2 units of Pink Horrors with the Musician, 30 Plague Bearers with the Icon of Eternal Virulence, I don't even know what that does. 30 Plague Bearers with the Standard of Seeping Decay, that's the rerolls to wound. No actual Nurgle heralds in there, just noticed.
You said that really, really concerned. Are you
No,
alright?
just noticed.
It's alright, man. Don't worry, don't worry.
It'll be fine, it'll be fine. I think what he's playing on is the fact that they're toughness 4, you know, so they're quite solid.
So, a unit of 6 Furies, 2 units of 3 Flamers, a unit of 3 Screamers, 2 Beasts of Nurgles, and 2 Champion Blood Crushers.
Now, one of the differences between Will and Nick's list, Will's gone for the Bloodletters, so 30 Bloodletters are 40 comp points. And then the Herald of Khorne is 9 comp points. Now, in return, Nick has got 30 Plague Bearers for 22 comp points. So his comp score is a lot lower. He's put them comp points into things like getting the Blue Scribes in the list. He's got the 2 Heralds with Life, so he's got Dwellers and Shadow. You know, Mindrazor.
Dwellers are off the board.
Mindrazor and Dwellers. It's a nice combo.
What
and
is
then
his,
a
his
ton of
score?
chaff.
What is his
And his comp score is
14,
14.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's a good list.
I think it's a good list. He's obviously knows how to play it well, similar to what he's been using all year.
And he's
with
still
a
got the
few
1, 2,
changes.
3, 4, 5, 6. So he's still got 8 units of chaff.
Nick can play it solid. He can shove the Plague Bearers at people to be a combat threat. He's got loads of chaff. He's got Dwellers. He's got Pit. So
He's
you
got
know,
Mindrazor.
He's got a lot of ways to pick up points.
Bit of shades.
Solid list, and he's got the Blue Scribes. You know,
What are blue scribes?
the Blue Scribes are a special character, and it's a unit, and it generates for every spell. Like if I was playing against you, you cast a spell, I would generate a power dice in the following magic phase for each spell that you cast.
Oh.
So
I don't like that.
I can end up getting a lot of power dice extra, and then because Nick's got 2 heralds who both know all the lore, that's 14 spells between them, so they can have tons of power dice. Obviously,
Wow.
it's capped at 12 per turn, but it should be on the higher end. You know, if he rolls like 2 2s for his magic phase and then adds 5, he can end up with 7 against 2. It's a really strong magic phase.
Wow. So he has got magical toughness.
Only if your opponent's casting as well. So,
Your opponent could just go, well, I'm not going to cast these
or
spells.
the
Or
opponent
your
could
opponent
cast
might not have any
one
magic.
spell with a lot of dice, which Nick can't let off to let the damage through. So it's a toss up, but it's certainly a nice choice.
Right.
They
It's
also
a what?
cast a bound spell each turn, so it's all good.
I hate bound spells.
So interesting matchup that one.
That would be fun. After what we were just saying about Johnson only getting the draw with him, let's see if he
I
wins.
think Nick will have that.
The only issue Nick's got is the fact that the Plague Furnace is so hard to stop for that army.
I don't know. Plague Bearers. Oh no, they have poison attacks. Plague Bearers.
I'm
Yes, they
not
do.
sure. Yeah,
Plague
yes,
Bearers
they do.
versus the Furnace.
Yeah.
Plague Bearers should win. Poison
The
attacks.
Furnace goes first. The Furnace runs in at same initiative, I think, and just
I
smashes
guess he's got
them
no
to
cannons,
pieces.
does he? Cause
No cannons,
Like,
you know.
could the Warlord join the Plague Monks?
The Warlord,
Yeah, he can.
I'm not sure on that. I'll have to check. But the Warlord in the Rat Ogres with frenzy on the Rat Ogre unit, a lot of attacks, higher initiative than the Plague Bearers. The Plague Bearers, the 2 Plague Bearer units have got to face against the Rat Ogres and the Plague Furnace unit. It's not done and dusted, but
No,
I do think Nick's list is a lot better. So
Nick's chaff
Okay.
wins as well,
Okay.
doesn't it?
interesting
Next
matchup.
person.
Next one.
And here we go. We have Mr. Newbie to the scene, Dan Thomas with Empire.
Ooh, now Dan had a really interesting list, and I thought he could have been on for a really good place in this year.
Well, Dan's actually had a really interesting year. The fact
Yeah,
that he
he
had
has.
never been to any major tournaments or any tournaments
done
or
well.
anything at the start
Done
of the
very
year.
well.
And he's just popped out of nowhere.
And then when we checked his list, he had 630 odd points for heroes. So unfortunately, Dan is losing 5 points. so he's starting 5 points behind everyone else. But his results this year, he finished 4th overall. Summer Incursion, Tribute, Beast Hammer, and Tempest 8 were his scoring events. And his list is Empire, isn't it, Mark?
Yes, he's running an Arch Lector with a Great Weapon, a 1-up save, a Lux Stone, and the Van Horseman Speculum. He's running a BSB on foot. He's running Luther Huss, the Prophet of Sigmar. He's running a Captain with a Charm Shield, Sword of Might. He's running 2 level 2s, 1 on Heavens, 1 on Fire, 1 of the Scroll, 1 of the Sceptre of Stability, 39 Halberdiers with Detachment of 5 Free Company, 8 in Spearmen with nothing, 12 Empire Knights with a Gleaming Pendant,
Inner Circle Knights.
Inner Circle, sorry, a unit of 5 Demigryphs of Muso, 4 Demigryphs of the Muso, and 3 Great Cannons.
Yeah, so out of
amazing.
the standard tournament list, he's not got the tank, he's not got the level 4, but he's got 2 big Demigryph units and 3 cannons, so I think it's a solid list. He's also got the Arch Lector in there on the War Volta.
No, he hasn't got War Altar.
Has he not? Oh,
Not
he's
on
in the
this
unit,
list,
is he?
No, yeah.
On foot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that one. I thought it was the War
Yeah, he's
Volta.
200 points.
Yeah, yeah.
But like in the fact that he's got the Van Horsen Spectrum, I haven't used that for months and months and months.
I think that's a great under this comp because people are going to put lots of points into characters, so I think that's a really good option.
Get
And
that
he's also
into
got the
combat.
cheeky special character in there with Luther Huss.
Yeah, and Luther can hit like a train if he does well. If he rolls high on that D3 on that one turn,
I've never had him. I don't actually
he's got
know
a
about him.
4-up board basic, I think, and in one turn he can add D3 to his weapon skill, strength, and attacks. And he's strength weapon skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4. So he could be like strength 7 with, I don't know. He's got a great weapon, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9. He could be strength 9. He could just smash you in the face.
Wow. Now, you see, I understand as you've gone through all of that list, and I actually think that's quite good. The fact that he's got the Demigryphs and he's got 3 cannons, maybe it doesn't matter that he hasn't got the steam tanks. At least he's got that shot, and he can plough some of the other stuff into it.
I when I was writing my Empire, under the old Swedish comp, you were able to get a similar list in, but with the War Altar with a light battery. Now that got edited quite quickly in the new comp pack because I think it was noticed it scored quite low. So that's similar. That's very similar to what I was building in a sense of 2 blocks of knights with some shooting that allows you to sit back and shoot, pick up points, or to actually push it forward and defend because the Demigryphs are still quite good. So at that size, so I think it's a really strong list.
Mm-hmm. As we're just talking about penalties, Ben, there's just a bit of communication on Twitter about it. The message which I got originally about this is, do penalties stack? So 5 points for incorrect list, then 10 points for late lists resubmitting after the deadline. That was the original question. You answered that, didn't you? With what you were saying, that it gets taken off. So, because someone's just commented, penalties aren't being enforced. It's like it never happens.
So Sean Gale's saying, penalties, again, not being enforced. It's like it never happens. Now, if anyone wants to go and read the rules pack, they'll see what you get the points for and what you don't get points for. And I'm doing it as it says in the rules pack. You get 10 points for submitting a list on time. And if that list is found to be illegal, you lose 5 points. So, simple as that.
That's fair
really.
enough. Because you said that you wanted to be very strict with these lists, and I want people to understand that you are actually adhering to that. So, good.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we see who Dan's playing?
Hopefully not me. Not that I don't like Dan, but I just don't want to play that
This
list.
one fell out the pot, so I am going to choose this one. And it is... Dun, 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 Keith Wilkinson. And he played Vampires, and he doesn't own the chain of shops with the same name. So, Keith Wilkos.
So Keith had a
Vampires.
little scare today.
Is he pregnant?
Ed Morris, the guy who's been marking the list, says to me, Keith's list is 14.2, which is outside the permitted comp brackets. So I mailed Keith and says, your list is not right, blah, blah, blah. 1,000 text messages gone backwards and forwards, and Ed was like, I must have had it all wrong.
Oh,
Cheers, Ed.
no.
Hour and a half in front of the computer, adding up, re-adding up, rechecking the rules pack, everything.
And I can
And
imagine
then when I got
16
hold
lists.
of Ed, Ed was like, I must have had it up wrong, it's fine. I was just like, oh. So no, Keith's gone for the high end, he's gone for 14. But first let's see how he qualified. And this was Tempest 5, South Coast GT, Miniature Mayhem, and
His own
Beast Hammer.
event.
Miniature Mayhem was Keith's own event with 40 players. He ran it himself and he came
He
second.
played?
Yeah, and Beast Hammer. So
Where did he come?
second. So, well done
I'm
to
gonna do
Keith.
that.
Mark Hammer. Oh, and I've won it. Yay!
There's going to be somebody called Mark Y, Mark W, Mark X.
That's actually been done in 40k. Someone tried to submit some results, but it's all good. Okay then, Mark, tell us about Keith's list.
We have a vampire lord on a barded nightmare.
What are you doing?
I don't know. He's got red fury, quick blood, shield, heavy armor, other strictest shard, fort board, and a ogre blade. So normal setup.
What's the other trick to shard, please?
Any modelling base contact has to re-roll ward saves.
Okay.
He has a level 2 BSB on Shadow with a Barded Nightmare, a 5-up ward armour, quick blood and beguile. He has 2 units of skeletons, a 26 and a 30, 2 units of 12 ghouls, a unit of 10 black knights with a flamey banner, 12 spirit hosts, and 3 units of 5 Vargeists.
Vargeist.
And what's his comp score?
14.
Yeah, so Keith's got a 14.
It is definitely a 14. Okay.
14, and I quite like this list. You know, the bus, he's got 10 knights, 2 vampires in there. It's going to hit real hard. He's still got good old Chuck Norris, the vampire lord.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris with strength 7 and a ton of attacks. He's got a second vampire with Law of Shadow, getting miasma in there to lower initiative for the quick bloods to do the work, and also Mind Razor if he needs it. You know, Mind Razor on them. I'm not sure what's the leadership on Vargeist. Yeah.
7.
Strength 7 with all those attacks, quite tasty. 3 flying units with a bunch of attacks each. It's a solid list.
I think I played Keith at Beasthammer, and the whole Rush army I really like, and I think it definitely suits Keith's playstyle because he could just push it forward and gives you too many targets before it gets on top of you. Now, he's obviously scored 14. The one major flaw I see in that is no scroll.
Yeah, he's got no Dispel Scroll, so he's leaving himself wide open to...
And his biggest magic level is level 2.
Yeah, level 1 on the Lord, level 2 on Shadow, so he can't raise anything back. He's going to have a real job. Once that bus starts getting shot up and reduced, he's going to have a real job bringing it back up.
Yeah, I think, and you lose... I guess the thing is, you lose your Vampire Lord. The Vargeists don't die. I mean, you've lost your Vampire Lord, that's a big issue. But
yeah, it's a massive amount of points.
You've actually got... The Black Knights will be alright, because the other Vampire will keep him up. You lose everything else, but everything else is shit. So the Vargeists...
Has he got anything that's ethereal there?
He's got 2 spirit... Oh, sorry, yeah, 2 spirit
1 unit
hosts.
of 2 spirit hosts. So. Okay, so who's Keith going to be playing?
Keith is going to be playing in Wilkinson's with Mikey Newman from Golem Painting Studios with Chaos Demons.
Chaos Dwarves.
Chaos Dwarves. It just says D there, look. I wrote it there.
So Mikey has had a good year. Sheffield Slaughter, 12th place. Tempest 5, 6. Tempest 6th, 2nd place.
Tempest 78.
Summer Incursion came in 10th, and then Winter Incursion, he actually won it. So he's had a solid end to the year with a 1st place in the last big event in the rankings this year.
Good.
Chaos Dwarfs then, Mark.
Yeah, Chaos Dwarfs who follow all the rules in the rulebook. Let's go. He has got a Prophet, so the level 3 on fire, who's riding a Bale Taurus. He has a 4-up board, a scroll, and a ruby ring. He is running 2 Tauruks, the Bull Centaur heroes, which are ace. One's got a great weapon, a Dawnstone, other trick to shard, and a dragon helm. The other one is running a sword of striking, dragon bane gem, and a potion of strength. He has 26 Infernal Guard with great weapons and a gleaming pendant, 36 goblins, full command with additional hand weapons, 6 Bull Centaurs, great weapons with a war banner, a Kadai, and a 5 Wolf Riders.
And a 5
Wolf Riders.
right, okay.
I like that.
I really like that.
Yeah,
he scores 10.6 in the comp, so he's going to be down on comp against Keith. But that destroyer could just go mental. It could kill. It could one-shot the Vampire Lord, assuming the Vampire Lord doesn't kill it first when it charges in. Which, it's dicey, isn't it?
Well,
you can only get the Vampire Lord if it fails its lookout, sir, and then fails its ward save, as I've tried.
Yeah, that is the way.
I think the Kadai. The only thing with the Kadai is it could just go in front of the Spirit Host if Keith plays it right. And the Kadai just goes...
Yeah, but I mean, Mikey's got he's got the profit on the Bale Taurus, so he's got to be rubbing his hands at his first round draw, not facing cannons. So that's 600 points, never going to die.
Yeah. Because he just sits at the back and shoots you with fireballs.
Yeah, Law of Fire. So the Spirit Hosts aren't going to last long at all.
No, not at all.
He can heal the Bale Taurus back up by casting Flaming Magic on it.
And I guess he's got the Taurox for the sort
He's
of
got the 2 Taurox. Yeah, quite solid units they are. One of them on his own. They can certainly fight off the Vargheists. If they're going to hammer the Vargheists, to be honest, it's not even going to be a fight. Is it?
Can I just correct something? Mikey is the first draw. He's not playing Keith. Keith was playing Dan. You're just getting confused, Ben.
We've jumped the gun.
Yeah, you've jumped the gun. Mike
okay.
is playing someone else. And just going back to Keith as well, you did correct yourself, but for our listeners that have been tweeting me, he's got 2 Spirit Hosts, not 12, as Mark said.
Did I say 12?
You
I meant
did.
to.
Yeah.
So we're actually going back to Keith Wilkinson playing against 3 cannons.
So that Vampire Lord,
Yeah.
that Vampire Lord's going to get 3 cannons at him every turn.
I would actually just very quickly saying I would say, however, the 3 units Vargheists could cause a bit of a problem because if Dan doesn't do enough damage, Keith will push it forward, and if Dan wants to try and shoot it up, it means the Terrorgeist will get in, the Vargheist. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it could be a tough match for Dan, that one.
I think
Although the Archlector with the Van Horsemans,
he's got a unit champion, hasn't he? And another Vampire Lord who can take it.
Definitely.
So, yeah, Mikey Newman is playing Chaos Dwarves.
All right, so Mikey Newman, pull
Let's
another
see
one
who
out
he's
of the hat.
playing.
Sorry, guys.
People have just started to jump on that, just as I'd said it as well. And hello
Me
to the
and
people.
Ben failed. We can tell we get
Yeah,
really excited.
we're getting
You
all
are.
excited. So
Hello
Mikey
to the people who
is
are tweeting,
playing.
by the way.
I'm going to be playing Mikey now.
Thanks to the Twitter for staying on top of this.
Yeah.
Dave, you should have been paying attention.
Excuse me, I was the one that paid attention to that.
Oh,
before anyone-
after people told you on Twitter.
No. If you check back, before I got these,
just
I
draw,
noticed.
Just draw it out.
Shut your face, it's going to be you, and I hope he kills you.
He probably will.
Right, he is playing Haristo ... because I can't say his surname. Who's playing dwarves?
Dwarfs. So Haristo's dwarfs.
Haristo's dwarves.
So he scores 14. So Mikey's going to be gone from playing no cannons, and now he's got a Bale Taurus flying
2
around in
cannons.
front of a load of artillery.
And also Haristo's going to have about 95,000 Dispel Scrolls, so any magic that he does, it will just go dispelled.
No, not necessarily. Let's go through his list then, shall
So
we?
while you look his list up, I'll have a rundown of the tournaments. And Haristo came 16th at the South Coast GT. He came 6th at the Midlands Open. His brothers in arms, he was part of Team Bulgaria, and they came 5th overall. And then he rounded out the year at Beasthammer with a 7th place.
And he was also at the ETC too.
Yep, ETC as part of Team Bulgaria as well. So
And a lovely
solid
guy.
player this year, and all round nice guy.
Yeah, I really like him.
I kind of wanted
Haristo's cool.
him and Andy to play each other. Dwarf off,
Yeah, that'd be
Doff
good.
off.
sit in the corner, 10 minutes, done.
What a fun game. He finishes his games in rapid time. He's going,
Yeah.
go, and it's finished.
When I played
Well,
him,
if you were playing dwarfs, would you want to spend any time
I
playing him?
just
No.
just couldn't think of anything worse.
So then, Mark, what's in his list?
Haristo has got, again, I think it's now gone from an awesome matchup for Mikey to a awful matchup in one fell swoop. He's got a dwarf on Shield Bearers with Master Rune of Steel, Rune of Resistance, Rune of Preservation, Rune of Might, and another Dwarf Lord. So he's running 2 Dwarf Lords with Shield, a Great Weapon, Master Rune of Kingship, so he's always stubborn. The Rune of Furnace, Rune of Luck, and Rune of Stone. He has a BSB with a Great Weapon, a Crossbow, a 1-up save, Rune of Resistance, and Rune of Preservation. He's also running another Thane with a rune of 3 runes of warding. So it's
He's got lots of jewellery, hasn't he?
It's lots and lots. He's got so it's MR3, and he's got another runesmith with Master Rune of Challenge and 1 Spell Eater rune. Another runesmith with the Master Rune of Dismay, which I can't quite remember what that does, and a Spell Eater rune. So he's got
What's the spelly?
a Spell Eater rune on a 4-up destroys this enemy spell like a scroll.
Spell Eater Rune. So how many of those has he got in total?
He has got 2.
Two. Oh, right, okay. Well, that was slightly different to the 14,000 I
Just here's a question. Do
You two are just like... What are you saying, Mark?
they're long? Oh, they're Longbeards, right? They're in a unit of Longbeards, not hammerers. So 30 Longbeards is his core with great weapons, shields, Master Rune of Grungi, 10 Quarrelers, 2 cannons, a Grudge Thrower, and a Gyrocopter. So the cannons have got engineers, Rune of Forging, Rune of Burning, and the Grudge Thrower has Rune of Accuracy, Rune of Penetration, and twice.
Rune of Penetration.
Oh yeah, baby. So
What
he's
is-
got.
hang
He's
on,
basically
what's
got
What's that?
Rune of Penetration +1 strength.
Oh,
So it's quite a strong bolt.
It's not as
thrower.
interesting as I thought.
No. So he's basically got all of his points in one unit, which is stubborn. Basically.
Pretty solid. You know, it's not going to go anywhere unless someone comes over and purple suns him. And
dwellers, yeah.
Mikey's got no purple suns. So, all right,
So do
moving
we
on.
think Haristo's going to beat over Mikey?
Yeah, I mean,
I think
the thing is, Mikey's got a solid list which can really run across the board quickly with the two. Well, he's got the flyer, he's got the Kadai, he's got the 3 lots of centaur units, the 2 characters and the 1 unit. But they're all too big to get into the spaces. So once Haristo lines his army up, lines his one big unit up with 2 lords in front of all his artillery. It's not like it's Harpy units that can fly over the top and get the war machines. So he's going to really struggle to get in there. So if he wants to get any points out of it, he's going to have to commit to the double lord unit, and it's not going to end well.
What's his comp score, Ben?
14, I believe.
Phil, 14, yes.
He's 14 as well.
He's
okay.
14
I think
as
for
well.
a 14, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I think the only problem I think Haristo is going to have is getting any big wins. I think he'll finish sort of middle of the ground with that list.
Middle of the ground?
Middle of the road, sorry.
Do you mean in the whole tournament?
Yeah, I think he'll get a few. All his wins will be okay.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So moving on.
Are we all up and running, Ben?
Yes, we're all good.
Right, okay. So, sorry if people are experiencing technical problems. That's live. So, the next person I'm drawing out, dun 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 dun, is Mr. Look at My Arms, Jack Armstrong, playing Warriors. Excellent.
Yeah. Are you sure you got that right? Warriors.
Is it not Warriors?
Yes, it's Warriors, but he's played Lizardmen forever. And now he's brought Warriors to the Masters. So Jack's been brainwashed by Brian Carmichael, and he's been convinced that 2 units of 4 Skull Crushers are the best thing since sliced bread. And let me just have a rundown of Jack's year, because he's had a pretty good one. I think he finished 2nd in the rankings, 1st place at Portsmouth Pillage, 1st place at Brothers in Arms team event, 1st place at Beast Hammer, and then 3rd place at Winter Incursion. All of those games, including a 3rd place at the ETC with Lizardmen. And then to the Masters, he's bringing Warriors of Chaos. So what's in his Masters list, Mark?
He is running a Chaos Lord on a Disc of Zinch. He's got a flail and the Crimson Armour, which I think he can only ever take 1 wound from multiple wounds. 4 at board, Other Trick to Shard and Blood Curdling Roar. He's got a level 2 on fire with a scroll, third eye of Zinch and a Charm Shield. He's another sorcerer who's got level 2 fire with the Blood of Zinch, which I can't quite remember which does. He has a BSB on a horse with the flail, with the dragon helm, immune to killing blow, and the Book of Secrets, Law of Shadow. He's got 17 warriors with Mark of Khorne, Banner of Swiftness. No upgrades on those though. 17 marauders with Mark of Slaanesh, 30 marauders with a musician, Mark of Khorne, flail. 8 Chaos Knights, standard Banner of Rage, Mark of Nurgle, and 2 units of Skull Crushers, with no upgrades.
So what do you think to the list?
On paper, I think it's good. In reality, I think the 2 units of Knights, if he plays against bad matchups, will just get baited. I don't know if I actually rate Skull Crushers as much. I think they look better on paper than they do in reality.
What does Necrotic Feed
Phylactery.
Philadelphia make?
Phylactery. It makes you immune to killing blow and poison attacks.
Immune to kill. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's not killing blow. It's immune to death, magic, and poison attacks.
Oh, is it? I thought. What's the one that's... Oh, it's the armour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's obviously an aggressive list in 2 or 3 waves. He's got the 3 units of Skull Crushers, Knights, 2 units of 4 Skull Crushers, and 1 unit of 8 Knights with Banner of Rage. And then a second wave of a big block of 30 Marauders and 17 Khorne Warriors, and then a little bunker of Marauders behind. He's got the Chaos Lord in there as well. So Brian won a tournament actually with an Ogre list, which played 3 units of 4 Mournfangs, plus a second wave of a Gut Star and some small Ogre units. And by the time the Knights have ran across the table, done a load of damage, and then probably died, the second wave comes in and just cleans up, takes the points. And I think that's the design of this list as well. Pretty solid.
What's his tournament score?
And his comp score is 12.7.
12.7.
So he's got a really good score.
Yeah.
For that, I guess for a 12 score, I think it's a good list. It's solid because you can sit at the back and shoot with fire.
He is on the down because he got points deducted, didn't he, Ben? You were saying earlier.
Yeah, so Jack was actually 2 points behind because he submitted his list in time for the second
It was
deadline.
quite funny on Twitter. He was like, "Right, Masters list is due in soon. What shall I take?" And it was like, "It's meant to be in yesterday for extra points, Jack."
Oh.
Oh, what a shame.
What a
I think what Drac is going to struggle with is the fact he hasn't played with Warriors again. He's just played Lizards so much, so long. I think he might be out of touch with what he's normally used to, because that army is the complete opposite from what he's normally played. Maybe that's what he wanted. Probably that's probably what
Maybe
he wanted.
to challenge, and it may be interesting to see if he is actually a shit. Oh, I didn't want to say shit.
You swore.
I didn't want to say a really, really good. Stop pointing. To see if he is a really, really good player, or if it's the army that he's playing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing, because I do think this compact takes your toys away. Let's see if you're a good player.
Yeah, I agree as well. Should we see who he's playing, girls?
Yeah, definitely. You sure he's not already playing someone already?
No, he's not.
He's going to be playing me, because I'll struggle against.
Do you want to play him?
No, not
Shall
really.
I fix it?
I'll struggle
I'm
against
not,
most
really.
armies, to be fair.
Here it is. So he is playing. He's playing Chris with a big leg. He's playing Vampire. So 2 ETC girls playing each other.
Is that Chris with a big third leg?
Chris with a lesbian leg.
Ah, right, okay.
Okay, so Chris has been to all the Masters, I think. I'm pretty sure he's not missed one yet. He's been at the ETC this year as well, and he's had quite a good year in respect to his gaming. He's Polish Sausage, 9th place. Call to War, 4th place. Brothers in Arms, he was in the team with Jack and Nick, and they won it. And then Winter Incursion, he came in 6th. So solid year for Chris. And he's using Vampires, which he's played a lot with. Now, I do actually think Jack's list could struggle against Chris's, but what's Chris packing, Mark?
Chris is packing...
I don't want to see, because I've been to the ETC.
Chris is packing a Vampire Lord on level 3. Red
Cannon
Fury,
it off.
Red Fury, Quick Blood, Barded Nightmare, Oak Blade, 4 up ward of the Strictest Shard, another level 1 Vampire, Quick Blood, Sword of Antiheroes, Luckstone, Enchanted Shield, I like it. A White King
Yay!
with an Obsidian Amulet, and a Necromancer with a Dispel Scroll on foot. He has 46 warriors, full command, Banner of Swiftness, 35 zombies, standard of musician, 2 units of 5 direwolves, 10 black knights with Banner of Eternal Flame, 2 units of 3 Vargeist, 2 Fellbats, and a Terrorgeist.
Yeah, so it's what I like about this list, particularly against Jack, is the Vampire Lord can just run into the middle of the army and just kill everything.
Yeah.
You know? He's got no fear against the Skull Crushers. He can just charge the Skull Crusher units and destroy them. He gets to strike first. He puts out a load of attacks, kills a load of them. Now, the only problem he might have is if he runs in and fluffs. You know, they've got the 1 palm save. He's strength 7, so it's -4, so it goes to a 5 up. So it's pretty easy to run in with 5 attacks. You know, get 4 hits after his rerolls, roll a 1 to wound, get 3 wounds. 2 of them get saved, and he does 1 wound, and then
I don't even think Chris has to commit at that point. I think Chris has got the upper hand because there's a Terrorgeist, which is a massive big threat to all of that armor, and he can take off so many models.
Yeah,
he could just use the Vargeist to redirect the big units, and Leggy's bus beats Jack's bus. I think.
Yeah, the Vargeists are cheap enough to throw away if he needs to, and like you said, the Terrorgeist can just do horrible things to the Skull Crushers. In general, I'd say it's in Leggy's favour, and Chris is scoring a 10.3, so
11.
He's a bit behind Jack on the points. Jack's getting a few extra points on Chris, but I think it'd be an interesting one because both of them have got armies that have to fight to win. So it's going to be a big mashup in the middle. I think
Leggy's got that though.
You reckon?
Unless the Vampire Lord is killed.
Unless the
Not a
vampire is
cannon.
killed.
I think the other thing is Leggy has been taking vampires, so he knows what it all does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Should we see the next matchup, boys and girls, come out to play? I'm sure this is very exciting to you camera people out there. So, stop looking ahead. You wait until I announce it.
I want to know.
It is Mark Wildman with 2 kings. I've heard he's very hairy. And apparently
I thought he
showing...
was going to say very good, but no, very hairy.
No, very hairy.
So this
Girls
is the
say you're showing too much.
this is the surprise of the Masters. People
Yeah.
didn't actually know that Mark was in. Masters players knew because they got an email telling them all, but some of them still didn't know. Apparently,
So, well done, Mark.
Who didn't know?
people on Twitter have been saying, "Is Mark in?" And it's like, well, yeah, you should know.
See,
So-
we had a bit of discussion, didn't we? Just because I sent my list in first, I think,
Yeah.
ages ago.
I asked Mark and Will, even though they hadn't got tickets at the time, to submit their lists just in case, and then there's no debate about them submitting after and all that sort of thing. So yours was the first one in.
Of skills. Well,
Now-
I wasn't really like. I was going to take Skaven because I was just painting my Skaven up, and I thought, right, I'll take Phil to the Masters because you need to. But then I thought I've been giving it all that about all these weaker lists getting into the Masters, and then actually getting into the Masters, then taking a filth list. So I thought I've got to hold my head up high and take my Tomb Kings. Really, it was that on my Beastmen, and the Beastmen list I like running is. You can't take it. Scores about a -1, so I couldn't take that. I'd have loved to have taken that, but I took the Tomb Kings because I took them to.
Just before you go through your list, what I do want to say is I didn't know Mark was the first list that you got in, and I find that fascinating because our house has just been the Masters. Am I? Oh no, I'm not. Oh, I am. Oh no, nearly, almost. And it's just been constant Masters talk. I want to be there. Oh, I want to be there more than that person. I should be there more than that person. That is. Don't swear.
I've just.
You're
fucking
live on
sworn.
Channel 4. Don't say fuck or bugger.
No,
I'm-
what it is I've had like people like Ben Diesel call me up going, oh, I don't think I'm going to go. Actually, no, I'm not going to go. Then he phones me up the next day going, actually, I am going. I'm convinced. And that happened twice. And Matt Howley was the same. It was like a roller coaster of, oh my God. I was like, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. But
And I felt his pain as well. I'm actually really, really proud that Mark's there. I do think he warrants being there, but I'm just glad he is because he's going to shut up. Because the weeks leading up to it would be annoying. Absolutely annoying. But run us down your list, sweetie.
Okay, so before we get into the list, we're going to talk about how Mark did
Okay.
during the year. And let's see if he remembers. So the first one on the list is the South Coast GT. I actually thought Mark finished really well here. I thought he did good. Apparently not.
Where did I come?
27th. But then we had a good one, Summer Incursion, second place.
Well done, Ben.
With what army?
Unfortunately, it was all downhill from there. Warlords GT, 10th. And then the Mansfield Mall, back up again to 4th.
Yay.
So, what's in your list, Mark? Don't look at your iPad.
Okay.
I'm going to test you.
Okay, it is a Tomb King on foot. Ooh. With a 4-up ward, a dragon helm, and a sword of anti-heroes. A level 4 with the obsidian lodestone. And 3 level 2s, a scroll of shielding and a dispel scroll. A unit of 20 skeleton warriors with a musician and a champion, and a unit of skeleton warriors with a musician.
No, that's wrong. They're skeleton archers.
Archers, that's what I meant.
Both of them are skeleton archers.
Archers, that's what I meant. That's what was in my head. The words just came out wrong.
Good then. You've got 40 skeleton warriors, babe.
I've got 40 skeleton warriors full command. Oh, I've got Ramatep as well.
Ramatep the Visionary.
Ramatep. I have 2 units of 20 horse archers. One with an upgrade to a
Units
champion.
of 5 horse archers.
Yeah,
What did I
5,
say?
20. You've got 5
Well, I'm just
skeleton
trying to
horse archers.
cheat.
Gareth, tell us Mark's list.
I'm just going to go through it and I'll go again.
No,
from
I'm nearly done now.
oh,
A
right.
unit of 6 Necronites with full command. A unit of carrion, 2 catapults, and a casket.
Casket of Souls. You've
I
got 3
think-
carrion, babe, not 2.
3 a
Yeah.
unit of 3 carrion.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you're in for a right royal hiding in every single game.
Me too.
You sent me the list, and I sent you back. Are you sure you're taking this? Why have you got a Tomb King?
Well, I kind of think Tomb King's ever going to be able to win the Masters? I don't think they are. So I'll take.
Prove them wrong, Sweet Pea. Prove them wrong.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna. It won't work. But
You could be the second bad dicer to come last at the Masters. You and Ben are going to be playing off for the last spot.
I think we are. It'll be a fight. I'm just gonna turn my army backwards and moonwalk towards him.
Nice. So let's see. So we've got in the draw still Andy Spears with dwarfs, Matty Watkinson with ogres, and Lorenzo also with ogres.
I would say I don't want to play any of them, but I don't think I want to play any of them.
I want you to do really well.
Okay, so let's see what you're up against.
I wish I'd drawn you first. So it's anything ending in a naught or a 5, girls. If you've got the pink tickets, get them out now. You are playing... Oh, I hope it's good for you. Close your eyes.
No.
Close your eyes. You are playing Matt Watkinson Ogres. I have no idea who he is. Who is he?
Matt's a
Nor
really
do
nice
I.
chap. I was played alongside him in a few games at some tournaments earlier this year, but I've never actually faced him. He's been using ogres a lot recently. I don't know if he's been using them exclusively, but he's certainly been doing well with ogres. Tempest Redemption, that's Tempest 5, 74 players, he finished 11th. Call to War, finished 3rd. Northern Warlords GT, he finished 4th. And then Tempest 8, he actually won 1st place. So good year for Matt, and ogres have been the route to victory, I think.
How do we not know him if he's got so high in the Masters?
I do know him.
Oh, you do know him?
Do you think he's the Martin Infernal of this year? Not in personality wise.
In what?
Don't.
In a sense of he's kind of not played like the top players to beat him at tournaments. He's kind of snuck in there.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's listening. I think he's on with Cy Harris listening tonight. So maybe you can leave a comment in the chat room and let us know
Is he Irish?
what he thought this year's. But, you know,
I've heard he's an arsehole.
I know.
Who?
I don't know, just pissing around.
Saying with a big grin on his face. No, he's certainly done well this year. And I know every year people always say, oh, he's not played the top players. But at the end of the day, you've got to do well consistently at tournaments to make the Masters. And he's obviously done well. And it looks like he's going to be violating you in the first round.
Let's see
So,
what he's
Mark,
got then.
your comp score was...
Oh, yeah, what was your comp score? Do you know, babe?
I'm asking you, Mark.
11.7.
6.
Yeah, Mark's quite middle of the road, I think.
I did that
on
on
the higher end of middle, 11.6, and Matt is bringing a 10.8, so it's fairly similar. You get a slight advantage.
I've got 11.6 here.
Yeah, it says 11.6 on this thing.
Mark's is 11.6.
Mark's
and
is
Matt's
11.7.
Yeah, it's
and Matt's is
11.7. Matt's is
11.6.
10.8. Matt's list, the comp score was different on what we worked out to what he thought it was. So-
Right, okay.
Okay. So, Matthew Watkinson is bringing level 3 with Law of the Great Moor, a Fencer's Blade, Glittering Scales, Iron Curse Iron, take that off. A BSB with a 4 award, take that off. Level 2 on Beasts with a Great Weapon, a Ruby Ring. And another Bruiser with a Warrior Brain and a 2-up armour. 7 Iron Guts, full command, Lookout Sir Noblar, and a Standard Discipline. 3 Ogres with an Iron Fist, 3 Ogres, 10 Noblars Trappers, 10 Noblars Trappers, 7 Man-Eaters with a Standard, 6 extra hand weapons, Banner of Eternal Flame, Poison Attacks, and they are stubborn.
Oh.
4 Mournfang with a Razor Standard, 2 Saber Tucks, and an Iron Blast Wall.
Mark's just got scared by the end of the list and lost the ability to speak.
Mark is a bit retarded when it comes
So what do you
to
reckon, Mark?
speaking.
Come on, from the horse's mouth, how's it going to go down?
It'll be down to if he gets the charge off on me in his magic phase, or because I played that matchup so many times. The Mournfang can do their stuff, long range charge. If I've not got my buffs on or I've not played it right, they can just go.
So you've got 3 level 2s, so that's strength 7 banishment?
6.
Strength 6 banishment, still pretty nasty against the Mournfang, so...
Yeah, it'll be. I think probably Matty's got it in the sense of it'll probably just cannon off my catapults.
But you've got 2 catapults and a casket, he's only got 1 cannon.
Yeah, but catapults are gash.
No, but not unless you shoot his cannon with your...
They miss.
They miss? Oh, right, okay.
They'll miss.
Fair enough.
How about I come and roll those dice for you?
If you want,
How about Gareth plays instead?
it'll be interesting. I mean, I guess the thing with Ramatep is that I've played him and he's just not very good. But then other times, just because of the re-rolling armor saves with the 6-up regen, it could just do a number on any of his units if I'm lucky on the dice rolls. It'll really depend on who gets the charge off at the right moment. The Law of the Great Moor, I mean, he can get regen on the charge. I played against that, and it can walk over me.
Fair enough.
Don't go in there with that defeatist attitude, though. You go in there
this
to
is what
fight
it's
to
like
the
every
end.
time. You should be well happy. You should be, I'm going to smash him.
You're
Well,
right.
I'm just glad I'm not playing dwarfs.
Matty's saying on the YouTube chat room that he's going to smash you. And it's going to be revenge for you beating Sai. So.
Why would you want revenge about? No, that's Sai talking, because Sai and
Sai.
Matty.
Matty says he's going to batter you, Mark. Revenge for beating me. From Sai Harris.
Well,
Oh, right, okay.
as I don't even know who this person is, I don't even believe he's a real person. So I think he's Cy Harris dressed up in a wig.
So basically, if that's the case, I'm going to take it off. I'm going
Yeah.
to take your army off.
Do it.
Yeah.
Any last messages before we move on to the final draw?
I'm going to take his army off.
All of it?
20-0.
What's going to die first?
What's going to die?
All of it.
What he's going to do, I'm going to shoot my catapult at his Iron Blaster, boom. It's going to panic off his Gut Star, boom, off it goes.
If you actually do this now and that works, you're going to feel like the man.
Yeah?
You're going to feel like Nostradamus.
I might have to bring some special dice with me.
I know someone who may have some.
Moving on,
Not
good
mention any
stuff.
names. Right, should we see who's the
Okay,
last?
the last two out the hat
Do, do, do,
are...
do, do.
What
We
is?
have Lorenzo Ricotta Cheese with Ogres.
I knew you was going to say that.
Play
Lorenzo
it.
Riccagni with Ogres. Now, Lorenzo's been playing Ogres a lot recently. I first faced him when he was using his Lizard Men, but this year he's switched to the Ogre Kingdoms. His tournaments have been 5th place at the Portsmouth Pillage, 9th at the Warlords GT, 8th at Beasthammer, and then finally 4th place at Winter Incursion. Now, I remember speaking to Lorenzo on the Saturday after Game 2. He says, how's it gone? And he's like, oh, shocking. First 2 games went awful. Oh, I think he got a big win first one. Then the next 2 went awful. Then he must have got 3 massive wins on Sunday to jump up to 4th place. So, solid year. Played Ogres a lot. And usually uses quite a different Ogre list to the run-of-the-mill. So, what's in his list, Mark?
He's got a level 4, Law of Death, Fencer's Blade, Glittering Scales, and the Greedy Fists. He has a
The greedy fists.
He has a BSB, a Rune Maw, a Great Weapon. He has another Butcher. Are we going to stop that, Ben?
Carry on.
Law of the Great Maw, Dispel Scroll, Fire Belly with an extra hand weapon and Potion of Speed. He has 9 Iron Guts, 9 Ogres with a Banner of Swiftness, apparently. He has 3 Iron Guts, 20 Noblars, Trappers, 20 Noblars, a Saber Tusk, 2 Mournfang, 9 Man-Eaters, Immune to Psychology, Poison Attacks, Standard Discipline, 2 have extra hand weapons, 2 have great weapons. He has a Gorger and an Iron Blaster.
Iron Blaster.
Iron Blaster.
Why is there so many
Is that
ogres?
American for Iron Blaster? Ogres are the cream of the crop at the minute, aren't they? Everyone is pushing them. So what do you think to the list?
I guess it's all right. It'll be good against some armies. There's a lot of death out there.
Yeah.
For his army.
There's a lot of death in the
A
world.
lot of death magic.
Yeah, I think I think he'll struggle with some matchups. But I think he's got quite a solid list.
Fair enough. I like the big man-eater unit with the immune to psych in there and whatnot. It's quite good. I also death magic. I'm a big fan of that on the ogres. I know there's better combos, and I think it's a waste with him playing dwarfs first round, but the greedy fist death.
We don't know who he's
combo.
playing yet, Ben.
I do think there's a lot of armies out there who've just gone right. Level 4s cost me too much in the comp. I'm not going to bother. So I do think that greedy fists is probably going to be wasted. That sort of combo.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, certainly when there's going into it, you had an idea there was going to be probably 2 dwarf armies there.
2 dwarf armies. You've got the vampire players that have got a level 1 and level 2. Jack's army is just level 2s. I mean, I've got a level 4, but to be fair, I'm probably not going to be using the level 4 very much. And I've got all the magic resistance in the world. I guess if he in the mirror matchup, if he played Matty Watkinson, gets rid of the Heaven's Magic. I don't know.
Matty, are you on first name terms with him now?
That's what.
Matty Watkins.
So I think overall, it's got a solid balanced list. So the last one out of the hat is
Dun, 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 dun. It is the one and only Andy Spears with dwarves. Nice one.
okay. So Andy's been using dwarfs all year. Sheffield, Portsmouth, Warlords, and Tempest with his events that he used to qualify. And his list, Mark.
I'm just finding it.
I'm just finding it. What's his comp score? Have you got that up?
Sorry, that's a good point. Lorenzo's
Oh,
comp
yeah.
score is at 11.6 and Andy's is at 12.1. So fairly similar, within, 40 points. So not much difference in that one.
Can't find it. Normal dwarf army.
Yeah. A Lord, a Thane, a Runesmith, a Master Engineer, Quarrelers, Hammerers, Grudge Throwers and Cannons.
Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think he'll shoot things off.
I think Lorenzo's going to run over the top of him, to be honest. I like Lorenzo's list. I always have done. I've liked it for a few events now. I've played it a couple of times recently, so my money's on Lorenzo. All right, so that's the draw. We're going to go for a break, and then we'll come back and we'll chat about how we think the games are going to go. Quick roundup of the overall, wrap up the show.
Oddgames.co.uk is the best online store for all hobby products. It's the place to go for your gaming needs. You get up to 15% off the Games Workshop range and the best prices on the net for Magic the Gathering. There's also a huge selection of board games with weekly special offers. And they also stock some fantastic hobby materials, such as magnetic racing kits. Ooh! And you can earn odd points to get money off future purchases. And UK postage is only £1, no matter how large the order is. So Bad Dice listeners, you can get a further 5% off this Christmas with the code BADDICEXmas. So go on, go to oddgames.co.uk and enjoy these fantastic deals.
Hi guys, I want to tell you about the amazing Audible service. I'm sure we all love to read, but not many of us have the time. Now you can listen to your books as you go about your day-to-day life. Commuting, painting, or even preparing your army list for your next big game. Head on over to Audible. Get a free 14-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's totally free. And if you decide not to continue with the service after the trial, the book is yours forever. So visit baddice.co.uk and click the Audible link, or go to baddice.co.uk/audible for more information and start listening right away. Okay, so we're back from the break, and we're going to be talking about our predictions, I think, for the top three at the Masters, top three and last place. So
Masters, Ben. Masters, dear. We are lowercase a's, not higher case. as we told you.
Masters.
Thank you.
we don't do Masters, it's Masters.
It's not.
Masters.
It's the Masters. It doesn't
So,
sound right.
What do you reckon, Mark? You've had a look at the lists. You've gone through the draw.
I think what we're going to do. Who's going to come first, second, third, then last?
Let's all do our third places.
Third places.
And I'm writing these down, and we'll be grilling you about why you were wrong on a later show.
I reckon third place is going to go to Christopher Legg.
Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Gareth?
You don't care, do you?
I think that... No, I'm going to do what I actually think is going to happen.
Didn't
not-
we have this last year?
Probably.
When we were doing predictions, and Mark just kept going, me.
And Gareth just said me because he was my boyfriend.
Am I your boyfriend? Oh, dear. I think Nick Pym.
In third place.
In third place.
Controversial.
Yes, controversial indeed.
Well, see, I think I'm going to go for Jack Armstrong in third place.
Okay.
So, despite using a list he's never really played with, I think he's going to get
I think
up there.
Jack does have the skills to just pick it up and run with it, I reckon.
Okay, that's interesting. So we've all gone for a different name.
Second place?
My second place is going to go to the master, Nicholas Pym.
I think...
Because I think he'll do well with that army, but I just don't think the plague bearers without the 4-up regen, I just don't think they cut it enough for him to win it. I know he's got level 4 shadow, level 2 shadow, and he can get Mind Razor, blah blah blah. I just think I don't think they cut it.
I was just checking what the armies were in case I needed to say, don't look at me like that, Ben.
That was the loudest noise in the world.
Oh, sorry, was it making a sound? Rubber Rub. I think Mikey Newman is going to come second.
Mikey Newman is second. Okay,
Yeah.
is there any reasoning behind that, or do you just like his name? Like the way it says, Mikey.
Yes.
Mikey.
I am that queer that I pick the winners of competitions because I like the way their name sounds. No, I like his list, and I like what we were saying about his chances against his first matchup, and I think he might smash that, and I think he might do really well.
We said he was going to lose his first game.
No, he didn't.
We did. We was playing dwarfs. We said he
Yeah.
was going to get shot.
He's going to get shot off the board. And he's not going to get any points out of that block.
But you can go for Mikey by all means. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah,
So-
but he might submarine. He might go down to the bottom and just...
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay, let's see if Mikey Newman goes down this weekend.
Okay, so my second place, I think I'm going to go with Mark and say Nick Pym. Second place. He got excited then. I said, I think
I'm
we're
gonna go
gonna
with Mark. Yes!
Yeah. No, go Nick Pym, second place. I think he's going to be close. He's not going to take the double. Okay.
Yep.
I believe...
Have we lost energy or something?
No,
Because
Mark,
just
it's
like,
Mark.
come on.
I'm looking straight at him and I say, okay, and then he looks around as if there's someone else to go.
I believe Tom Maudsley will win it.
Tom Maudsley to win. Why is that, Mark?
I think his list is strong. I think he's got a little bit of everything. He can decide how he's going to play the game. He can sit back and shoot with Heavens and his lead belchers, or he can run across the board because he's still got his Slaughtermaster who can fight with the rerolls and the actual. I actually think Heavens is better as a combat law rather than a shoot at the back law. So I think he's got. I think he's probably got enough to win it.
Okay, fair enough. So Tom to win.
Can
Gary?
I change my second?
No, we've gone
No,
past that.
You've
now.
gone past it. You
I
can
don't
choose
care.
a first.
No, I am going to change it because I can. I'm
Okay.
going to toss it into the pot. Haristo, then. I got really confused. I thought we'd said that Mikey had a really, really strong army. I still love you, Mikey, don't worry. But no, I'm going to go to Haristo instead.
Okay, that's not a bad shout, really.
And then first, I think... I don't really know. I think Jack's got a good chance because I think he's a really good player, and I think it's going to be down to if he actually is a good player as opposed to having a good army with his lizards. So I'm going to say that he knows what he's doing. He didn't matter about the list penalty because he knew that he was going to win it. So I'm going to have faith in his massive arms.
What, just reaching over the table and hitting people if you can't actually beat them at Warhammer?
No, literally picking the models up, crushing them, but the heat of his crush turns them into lead plastic.
And then he turns them into the models he wants to use
Yes.
and puts them back on his side. Yeah.
It's like
Turns them more into skull crushers.
Terminator 2 with a liquid man.
Nice. Okay, so my first place, I'm going to go for Chris Legg. Going to give him the kiss of death.
Oh, good. I'm glad you've done that.
Chris has had
We've
a
never
couple.
had a girl win, have we?
Chris has had a couple of close ones at the Masters. I think one year he lost the Masters on painting scores to Keith Wilkinson. I think this year might be Chris's year. He's got a solid list. He's got the Terrorgeist in there, which could be the trump card in a few of the matchups, particularly the Ogres with only one Iron Blaster and generally low leadership. And the Skull Crushers against Jack in the first round. He could be on for a big win. Good head start there if he gets a good win. So yeah, I'm going to go for Leggy.
It's interesting. Who do you think is going to come last?
So last place, I think
it's between 3 people.
I think in the last game on the bottom table, if they haven't already played during the tournament, there's going to be Mark and Ben, and Mark is going to get beaten by Squeal, Gnawtooth, and Thlot the Unclean,
Yeah, that'll happen.
and he's going to go all pink cheeked.
I go pink cheeked every game.
Oh,
So unfortunately, Mark, I'm putting you down as my last place. You're not upset about that, are you?
I'm
yes, he is.
You look upset on this video feed.
no, because actually I should be doing my prediction for last place first.
Okay, well I dived straight in.
you've-
Gareth asked me what I thought, so I answered
jumped
him.
in.
I can't just not answer him, can I?
That's the order. You've ruined the order. Can
Carry
we
on.
Restart
What-
this.
your last place,
I'm
Mark?
gonna put myself down last as well.
That's a first. I've never heard anyone predict themselves to be last.
I could have taken something which may have done well, but I was I was giving it all that I should be playing with a lower tier army, and it shows. Every game's going to be hard, every game's going to be tough for me, and I'll probably regret it, but yes, I'm going to put myself as last place.
Nice. So, Gareth, who's your prediction for last place?
I'm not going to say Mark.
You can.
No, I don't want to because I don't think you will. I believe that you, in your abilities enough as a player. It doesn't necessarily have to be just because you've got a shit army. I think it's going to be between two people. I understand what you've said about Ben Johnson, but I still don't think that he's actually going to be
No, I don't.
I don't
down
think
the
he'll
bottom.
be
No, I don't.
No. What you're saying about his list generally, I don't think he's going to be down there. I think it's going to be between Al and Dan Thomas.
Al and Dan. Interesting one. So, yeah, I think... I don't know. It's a tricky one with Dan because although I do think he's got a solid list and he has played well this year. As Mark said, I think he said off the air earlier, he played Will and Jack at the Winter Incursion event and got smashed up by both of them. So it could be a tough trial by fire for Dan in his first Masters event.
I really, really like him as a person. I think he's lovely, but I think you're right. I think it's kind of like little fish, big pond kind of thing. Not that I'm doubting his ability because he smashed me when I played him. He's a really, really good player. But I just think in this kind of scenario...
You think maybe one to watch for next year's Masters?
Absolutely.
I see exactly what you're saying there, but I would say half the field is pretty new.
Yeah,
and all it needs is the last game for all the top ETC player guys who have been winning the tournaments all to play each other. They all get 10-10s, and you get a couple of people who are a bit lower,
and they just pop up.
And like, say for example, I 20-0 somebody that I wasn't expecting to. I fly up, or somebody totally unexpected flies up because they're half the field are new faces. So I think there's a lot more. It's a lot more random in this field than it has been in the previous years. I think last year was a really, really tough field. I think every player was really, really quite sort of on top form. And
I think if we'd have gone with a South Coast GT style comp, with Jack, Nick, Ben bringing the standard tournament builds, I think it could have just been a bit of a boring tournament.
Well, I agree.
We've done that. You've done that. The world's done that. I think you've made the right decision by doing something quite out of the hand and quite left foot field. What's that political thing? Is it right, left? Who is it?
Left of the middle.
Right, you two are rambling now. So, okay, let's wrap things up.
No foe.
We're going to be doing a Snake Eyes episode immediately after this. We're going to be doing a live Gareth's Query Corner. I'm going to also try and maybe get some of the Masters players on the line, if there's anyone still online, still on YouTube. Those who are watching live are going to get to be able to watch the live show and the live Snake Eyes show as well. Those who are Snake Eyes members can get the Snake Eyes bonus episode from the Snake Eyes section on the Bad Dice website. Otherwise, you can go over to baddice.co.uk/Snake Eyes and check it out. I think that about wraps things up. We've got a few things to shout out before we get off. You can catch up with us all on Twitter. So.
Absolutely. I am at Purple Husky, as a lot of you who have been tweeting me know. But also, I do want to give a shout out to our Facebook page. We're still getting quite a lot of likes and stuff on it, but I think it's really important in a social media format to go there, because I upload lots of pictures. And I've still got a load actually to upload. That's just reminded me.
And I really, really like the Facebook page, because although Twitter is great and there's all that chatter going off throughout there, keeps people entertained, the Facebook page, you can actually go into it and you can look at all the pictures and go, oh, I remember that event, I remember that army, and it's just, I don't know, there's something quite nice looking at all the pictures and silly faces people.
Absolutely. And you can see my photography skills, and if you want me to do your weddings, I will. And if the grooms are hot, I'll do them too.
Okay, so one last thing I want to talk about is I've teamed up with Steve Wren on the Bad Dice forums to do a hobby blog challenge for the next coming year. I'm going to talk about this later in the week on the Bad Dice Daily. We're going to do a whole episode dedicated to talking about this. So I just thought I'd give it a quick shout out, squeeze it into this show, because it didn't really fit in the Masters Live Draw show. But you can go over to baddice.co.uk/challenge, and that'll give you a link to the forums where you can sign up for the year. And it's basically join in with everyone else and get some extra motivation to build an army during 2013. You can also win prizes while you're doing so. Each month that you complete a new unit, you'll get added into the prize draw. For the end of the year, there's going to be a big prize. So I've not settled on what the prize is yet, but I'm going to be leveraging our sponsors throughout the year to get prizes. I'll be throwing some stuff in from Bad Dice.
It'll be a half-eaten tub of roses.
Half-eaten tub of roses.
It's just wrappers.
What will be the loser? Will they get one of your pubic hairs?
No. There's
They'll
not
get
gonna be
one
a
of my
loser.
CDs. They're the loser.
Everyone will be a winner, because you'll all end up with a painted army by the end of the year, hopefully. And that's the idea of the challenge. Steve's helping me. He's the current Bad Dice hobby hero, and he's going to be helping moderate things on the forums. Hopefully, I'm going to sort of press gang Gareth into joining in, and getting his vampire counts up on there.
He needs to get them done for the Roasting Rumble, because I want to take my orcs to the Roasting Rumble, and he needs to get his vampires done, and he's got till the middle of March.
Middle of
Roasting
March
Rumble.
to do 1,000 points.
Yes.
So that's a good target for Gareth to get started with then.
And I have a couple of models as it is, and one thanks to Steve Wren.
So there's already about 25 blogs, I think, been posted up on the forum. So head over there, check it out. Go over to the show notes to find all the links that you'll need. Just, go to the forums, you'll soon find it. So I think that about wraps this show up. Thanks to everyone who's stayed up late or got up early or just, UK time. It's pretty easy for us guys. And watched us live on YouTube. You can find this video feed on YouTube, I think. Kind of thing. I don't know. See what happens when I press end broadcast. It might get uploaded. We'll soon see. Future live shows might be coming. Maybe. We'll see again. Let us know if you've enjoyed it. Thanks to everyone who's been in the chat room. It's been a lot of fun all night. And for those that are still alive, stick around and we'll be doing the live query corner for the Snake Eyes.
So start sending in by Twitter, hashtag Gareth's Query Corner GQC, to me at Purple Husky, your Gareth's Query Corner questions. If you've sent me ones previous, send them again, because I've got a lot of messages and I'm not going to scroll through them all, so I'm going to look at them and then read them out. So start sending in your live questions now, and we will answer them when we come back after the break. Yo!
Okay, and that wraps up episode 97. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Bye!